With Moran Eye Center, your future looks brighter than ever.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 5:14. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
coming off a week of warm weather and more to come has Utah's water managers paying extra attention to flood spots. I'm KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ayers.
Second, police say the Camas author accused of poisoning her husband owed more than $2 million in loans.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
No delays right now on the freeways, but we do have a minor fender bender eastbound 201 at Bangerter Highway. Vehicles are on the right shoulder, not causing any delays yet. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, more 80s today, but partly cloudy. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 59 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Derek Dennis on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Japan. President Biden and other world leaders touring the famous Itsukushima Shrine today. Biden torn between attending the G7 and critical debt ceiling talks back in Washington.
Republicans say they will not agree to raise the debt limit until the president agrees to spending cuts, including clawing back unspent COVID funds and imposing stricter work requirements on some federal aid programs. The president cutting that foreign trip short. He's expected to return back to the White House on Sunday, where he hopes to personally close that deal.
ABC's Rachel Scott back at the G7. Ukrainian President Zelensky will visit on Sunday, looking for more resources to stop Russia's war. In court today, 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira accused of leaking classified government documents online, a judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial.
Basically, the government has said if he is released, he presents not just an ongoing threat of spreading further classified information, but they note that foreign governments, foreign adversaries, they say are, quote, salivating the prospect that they might be able to find a way to extract him and get the secrets that he had access to into their possession.
ABC's Alex Mallon. Disney, the parent company of ABC News, raising the stakes in its battle against Florida's governor by canceling a $1 billion construction project and some 2,000 jobs.
It comes with Disney embroiled in a public battle with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that began after the company came out against what critics call the Don't Say Gay law, which limits classroom discussion about sexual orientation and gender identity. Since then, DeSantis has taken aim at Disney's special status in the state. Disney is suing DeSantis for what it calls a targeted campaign of government retaliation.
ABC's Jonathan Karl. Funeral today for a New York City man who gained national attention. 30-year-old Jordan Neely died after Marine veteran 24-year-old Daniel Penny put him in a chokehold on a subway train this month. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Tech jobs are leading the pack in the fastest growing occupations in the country.
Joining us live from the KSL Newsline is ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. I would have thought tech jobs would be knocked out of the top spot, Jim, because of all the layoffs in that industry.
Oh, no, those jobs are still out there, and they will be for the next 4 years or so. The World Economic Forum has looked at this. It's polled 800 companies around the world, Amanda. So this isn't just in the United States. This is worldwide. And between now and 2027, the top job in terms of growth at 39%, you'll see a 39% growth in AI and machine learning specialists. That is artificial intelligence, the people who build those machines, and then the people who teach those machines to be more human, I suppose. But, so all of these jobs, the top 10 jobs essentially will require analytical thinking. So whereas the economy used to run on elbow grease and manpower, now it runs on brain power.
You said there's a lot of low-tech occupations that make this list, too.
At least one. In 9th place, and I was a little surprised to see this, agricultural equipment operators. So while people are working with AI and working in the fintech industry, somebody's got to feed those people. And so the 9th growth position, or the 9th growth career through 2027, will be agricultural equipment operators, essentially farmers.
Does it show what professions or what areas are dwindling?
Yes, if it deals with physical exertion, other than farming right now, it seems as though those jobs are sort of going away. They're dwindling somewhat. If you look 50 years ago, and I did to see what the top jobs were 50 years ago, cashiers. And school teachers were big then. Obviously, school teachers are still in demand, and secretaries. You think about what's happened in those industries, in information technology and that kind of service industry. You may have had in 1983, 73, one secretary for one executive. Now, one secretary, one administrative service might be handling those jobs for 5 or 6 different people.
And now we just scan our own QR codes when we leave the store.
Yeah, right.
If you find a cashier at a grocery store, let me know.
Yeah. Is there anything in the health field that makes this list one way or the other?
Health is always going to be a growth industry, but it's going to require many of the same skills because so much of it is tech involved. So analytical thinking, whether you're going into healthcare, whether you're going into farming, or whether you're going into AI, that's going to be the skill you'll need.
All right. Interesting, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks, Minna.
ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. So tech is king when it comes to growth anyway.
Which makes sense with everything going computerized
Right.
these days. We thought we'd reach the pinnacle in that, but maybe we're just scratching the surface, which is a little scary.
And it's not just tech, it's tech in every industry.
Yeah.
So you might be the tech person in some other industry.
And probably some industries you wouldn't even think about.
Oh, for sure.
In the future. Jim's always great to have on, and we appreciate his time in helping us with the in-depth. We do it at 15 and 45.
5:19 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
We're looking really good in the Salt Lake Valley right now, traffic-wise. It's pretty light right now on I-15 northbound from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake. Same story if you're coming out of Tooele County on SR-36 and I-80 over to the airport. Now, if you take the 201 freeway, we seem to have a bit more traffic on that roadway at the moment. And there's a crash eastbound at Bangerter Highway, but it looks like it's just one vehicle. It's over on the right shoulder, not causing delays. Jason.
No accidents or delays up north. If you're traveling southbound I-15, it's going to be a smooth ride for you. If you're headed off up into any of the canyons, Weber Canyon, Ogden Canyon, Sardine Canyon, no trouble there in either directions. A bit of crowding at the South Gate of Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
And Parley's Canyon looks good if you're on I-80 going out to Park City this morning. We got dry roads, as is the case down Utah County. I-15 running along at a normal pace, 22 minutes from Springville, for instance, northbound to Point of the Mountain. This spring, get your lawn off to a good start with Revive Organic Soil Treatment. Greener grass using less water. Spread or spray it. Revive. It works. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with some low 80s. 83 today, partly cloudy skies. Dry skies prevail for the weekend, but it is hot. 88 for your Saturday, 89 and partly cloudy for Sunday. Working into next week, how about Monday? Chance for storms in the afternoon, 87. We cool it off to 84 on Tuesday, chance for PM storms. And then a chance for more storms on Wednesday, 83. Low 80s prevail into Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Fair skies out there. It was a little windy on my way in this morning, too. 60 degrees in Salt Lake City. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
It's always interesting to come in the morning and see what people were texting to the station late in the day yesterday.
Yeah.
Like somebody texted, why is the new flag flying over the Capitol? It's not supposed to until next March. Somebody else texted, is Highway 89 closed? And then somebody texted, can I call you later?
Yes, that's the more entertaining thing to me is sometimes we get texts that we know were not meant for us. They thought they were
love you, see you later.
Yeah. Don't forget to bring home the milk.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
All right, it's terrific. You can text us with anything you like, a comment, or let us know about something. You see, we did get texts about the what looked like almost flooding. Where was that? Near Farmington, I think. Right on the edge of the freeway. Text us on the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line 57500.
Have you ever done that?
What?
Hit send on a text and then realize you sent it to the wrong person?
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure. Probably this week.
And you try to grab it and bring it back. There's no way to do that.
I didn't mean that, Ann.
There's some panic moments. The markets closed up yesterday across the board. Matter of fact, the S&P and the NASDAQ were up over 1%. We'll see what's happening this morning with futures next.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
With our roots in northern Utah, Holy Cross Hospital has a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and equally honored to care for northern Utah's vibrant communities. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
Don't be worried, be ready. KSL News Radio is partnering with Be Ready Utah to provide the plans your family needs for an emergency, the tools and supplies to keep on hand, and the knowledge on how to keep a cool head. It's Be Ready Utah. Listen for Be Ready tips and tools each Tuesday with Dave Dujanovic. Plus, find the latest preparation info at beready.utah.gov. That's beready.utah.gov. Be Ready Utah with KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's Money Now, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Twitter is accusing Microsoft and its partner OpenAI of illegally using Twitter data to develop artificial intelligence systems. The letter addresses a seemingly narrow use of information from Twitter's database of tweets, and it foreshadows a possible fight over AI. So if AI is always learning, and they learn from everything available on the internet, ever posted anywhere, is that somehow a taking of information that would be something that you'd have to pay for?
I don't know. But did you see, I mean, we're talking Twitter, then you're talking Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the interview with Elon Musk and Bill Maher when he was on his show?
Oh, wait, I did see part of that.
Yeah.
I did see a clip of that. Fascinating.
They talked a little bit about how there's a little sting for Elon because he started this AI movement.
And now he wants to pull back.
And Google took it over. He actually sold it away.
Oh, wow.
And now he feels like he's behind the 8 ball on the AI move because he's been busy doing Tesla and now Twitter and all these other things.
SpaceX.
So I'm not surprised that he's throwing lawsuits around at this point.
I wonder if that's behind why he is saying we need to pull back. He wants everybody to slow down until he catches up.
Hyundai and Kia have agreed to a consumer class action lawsuit settlement worth $200 million over rampant car thefts. The settlement will cover about 9 million U.S. owners and includes up to $145 million for out-of-pocket losses.
Okay, check this out, Tim. Wendy's is testing out a new way to deliver your food via an underground robot.
Okay.
Where underground? The company is working with a Texas hyperlogistics company called Pipe Dream to test an underground robot system that will deliver digital orders to designated parking spots in a matter of seconds. So not drone, not from the air, but they're going to, what would they utilize? What would they utilize?
I don't know.
Subway tunnels?
I mean, it sounds like the old Hyperloop thing that, again, back to Elon
Water
Musk,
tunnels?
he always talks about.
I mean, they couldn't build the infrastructure. They'd have to use something in existence. I hope it's not sewer tunnels.
You don't want your burger coming through the sewer line.
No, well, thank you very much.
It looks okay, but it smells terrible. The markets, we've got a minute. Let's see what they look like yesterday. The Dow was actually up 115, about 0.3. The S&P was up 1% or 40 points. The NASDAQ was up 1.5%. How about this morning for futures? We're still in the green. The Dow is up 41, the S&P up 6.5, and the NASDAQ up but less than 5.
We have no delays on I-15 along the Wasatch Front and I-80 201. They all look good. It's Friday. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical, and I wanted to let you know what you can expect when you walk into one of our 10, soon to be 11 stores. This story came to us from one of our many 5-star Google reviews.
I was panicked and needed help.
My daughter had a serious family emergency and I needed to travel out of town, but I couldn't haul my oxygen tanks with me. I needed portable oxygen. I tried several companies and they all said I didn't have a prescription. I went to Alpine and they called my doctor. 20 minutes later, I was on my way with a portable oxygen machine.
At Alpine Home Medical, we understand how urgent your healthcare needs can be. We'll do everything we can to exceed your expectations. Let us help you bring wellness home. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
alpinehomemedical.com.
Let the negotiations begin.
I'm confident that we'll get the agreement on the budget. America will not default. We pay our bills.
The President and House Republicans begin high-stakes discussions of America's borrowing and our massive debt. Does anything change?
If we do nothing, we will pay more in interest in the next 10 years than we paid in the last 83.
Get updates each morning and talk during the day with Dave and Dejanovic at 9 and Boyd Matheson at 1 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 529. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather.
We're looking really good, Tim, all across the Salt Lake Valley. No problems on city streets yet, including Mountain View Corridor and Bangerter Highway. If you're northbound I-15, you're going to have most of the traffic from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake, but it's still pretty light this time of the day, and no issues coming out of Tooele County. Jason.
And likewise, light volume in Weber and Davis counties this morning. You're looking really good on your highways as you head into Salt Lake City. No problems on any of your major feeders over to I-15 either. 89 Legacy, the West Side Belt. They're all running smooth. Eric?
Over on the 215 eastbound, northbounders are having a good drive, skirting the mountains, going up to the mouth of Parley's Canyon, and then on to Foothill Drive. That also looks good, going up to the University of Utah. I-80 out through the mountains right now. You got dry roads through Parley's Canyon, and that's also the case for Provo Canyon if you're on 189. And in Utah County, I-15 is running smooth both directions. Seasoned gardeners know that beautiful landscapes are made with colorful bedding plants like the flowers grown by Olson's Greenhouse. Visit OGG.com to find out where to buy Olson's plants. I'm Eric Butler at the KSL Traffic Center.
Today looks like 83 for a high, some clouds in the sky. Then we warm up to the upper 80s for the weekend. Saturday, 88, 89 on Sunday. And then for the beginning of next week, another chance of thunderstorms moves back in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Right now, downtown, 59 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time 5:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
It's a developing story this morning. Firefighters in southern Utah are taking advantage of a new tool to start wildfire season.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, a key in firefighters successfully knocking down a 40-acre blaze along the Virgin River earlier this month was actually drones. The drones flew above the fire and used infrared technology to pinpoint the hottest areas of it. They also kept an eye on any nearby buildings and even helped crews get a better handle on how much damage the fire caused once it was out. Santa Clara Ivans Fire and Rescue Division Chief Lance Haney tells St. George News he believes they're the only ones in Utah using this technology. He's the one that reviews it and is also potentially working to see if they can get it out to other nearby agencies to take advantage of it. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah's warmer weather is an interesting challenge for UDOT's work on the Guardsman Pass, which currently sits under 25 feet of snow. UDOT's Public Information Officer John Gleason says avalanche risk is higher, but the snow is also clearing itself out.
The weather is helping us out in some respects, and obviously hurting with some of the flooding that we're seeing. But the high temperatures that we've had over the last week and will continue to have over the next week or so.
It still means they'll need to use scrapers alongside the snow plows to get the pass ready for travelers. Gleason says the pass still won't open until at least mid-June.
There are new charging documents against the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband that show she owed millions of dollars. Details from KSL News Radio's Jessica Lowell.
Amended charging documents show Corey Richens owed a lender and the government at least $2 million. She also owed her husband $500,000 for allegedly taking money from his bank account and spending tens of thousands on his credit cards a couple years before his death.
The documents also say Richens arranged for a locksmith to drill into her late husband's safe just a couple of days after he died. Police say she pulled out more than $100,000, which she then used to buy drugs.
The Division of Wildlife Resources seizing animals at a petting zoo in Tooele County. KSL TV's Lauren Steinbrecher reports the seizures follow a complaint about a visitor getting bit by a fox.
Attorney for that zoo saying that a fox was needlessly euthanized, telling me that the fox was up to date on his rabies vaccination, which is why they say that euthanasia was unwarranted. But DWR saying that this zoo was on their radar long before that situation. DWR saying that all those other animals have been placed elsewhere.
The full statement from the zoo's lawyer can be found on the KSL TV website.
The Utah Democratic Party convention is happening this weekend.
This year it's held at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Diane Lewis, party chair, says it was time to move from usual party strongholds in Salt Lake, Davis, and Summit counties down south.
We decided that we wanted to bring it south so that our rural counties could get closer to home.
Lewis says they'll elect party leadership in 2 contested races for party chair and vice chair. 2 other races for secretary and treasurer are uncontested. She says they'll also prepare delegates with training for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next year.
We think we're going to do pretty good down here and have quite a few people in person.
Lewis says delegates will also be able to participate and vote virtually if necessary. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour: an escalating debt showdown on Capitol Hill.
The Republican House Freedom Caucus now wants debt ceiling talks suspended until the Senate passes the GOP-passed House debt ceiling bill. That legislation calls for nearly $5 trillion in spending cuts before raising the debt ceiling. In the Senate, some in the president's own party are pressuring him to invoke the 14th Amendment to raise the debt ceiling without congressional approval.
ABC's Justin Finch reporting from Washington.
Existing home sales fell last month during what's normally one of the hottest months of the year.
Existing home sales in April fell 3.4%. That's right along expectations. Sales down just over 23% year over year. The median price of a home sold in April was $388,000. Prices are getting very different regionally. They were higher in the Northeast and Midwest. The Midwest, of course, being the most affordable region. Prices fell in the South and West, where prices had been hottest, where demand was also hottest, and buyers are now priced out.
CNBC's Diana Olick says the average rate is up near 7%, according to Mortgage News Daily.
We're going to talk with Caleb Silver about the housing situation next half hour. 5:35, let's see what first look traffic looks like here this morning as we go back over to Heather Kelly.
Well, no delays right now anywhere across the Wasatch Front, Utah, Salt Lake, Davis, or Weber counties. We do have one small fender bender eastbound 201 freeway at Bangerter Highway. It's on the right shoulder. It's not causing any delays either, and because it's a Friday, we're not really expecting the same amount of traffic volume today as the rest of the work week. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Utah's miles of salt flats, acres of red rocks, and desert beauty, as far as the eye can see, is a calling to filmmakers everywhere and has earned the state millions. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris is live with more. Alessandra?
Some of the most popular music from a movie that helped make Utah known to the film world. Last year, Utah approved a new law adding $12 million to the Utah Film Incentive Program. According to the Utah Film Commissioner, that money brought more than 10 times its amount in production to the state. The Utah Film Commission reports that over the last decade, the film industry has brought $463 million in spending, created tens of thousands of jobs, and over $6 billion in film tourism. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
A group of healthcare workers share a growing connection.
It's a baby bonanza at one New Hampshire hospital where nearly a dozen staff members are pregnant.
It was one person after another, and then here we all are.
We kept asking what's in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
As of today, 10 staff members at Wentworth Douglas Hospital in Dover are expecting. But at the start of the month, that number was 11 until baby Everett was born.
Don't drink the water. ABC's Rhiannon Alley reporting.
Ogden City Council just signed off on a new city flag. It has a light blue background, a white horizontal stripe through the middle, a navy blue circle in the middle, and a white mountain motif. The Standard Examiner reports local graphic designer Cody Hawken came up with the design.
It's being called the Loch Ness Monster of the North Bay, recently caught on tape in California. Wildlife experts say the tire-sized creature has been spotted at the bottom of a popular lake. Residents are being warned it may be what's called an alligator snapping turtle that could be dangerous if you get too close. Carrie Port lives near Lake Ruffine in Santa Rosa.
There are things in there that we probably don't know living here.
Yeah, don't go in the water. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife says it's planning an investigation.
We have a smooth ride so far on the freeways and the city streets. We'll take a look at traffic and weather together coming up next.
Get KSL FloodWatch updates on your phone this week. Text the word news to 57500 for the latest. You can also see FloodWatch coverage at the top of our website, kslnewsradio.com.
The Salt Lake Chamber is Utah's voice for business. Okay, that sounds great, but what does it really mean? Well, as Utah's largest and longest standing business association, they support and champion community prosperity throughout the state. And if you're in business, well, that's a very good thing for you. Be sure to listen to the Chamber's Speaking on Business, weekdays at 7:20, 11:55, and 5:20 p.m. on KSL News Radio.
Interest rates keep rising, but don't worry, we'll cut them back down to size. Hi there, I'm Josh Osborne with Volkswagen Southtown, and during our rate cut sale, we're cutting rates in half.
Get 3.9 for 5 years at Volkswagen Southtown on any new car, and we have as low as 1.9 on used cars. Get the car you really want, like the Jetta, Tiguan, Taos, Atlas, or ID4 EV.
Save thousands in interest at Volkswagen Southtown, Utah's #1 Volkswagen dealer. Visit VWSouthtown.com.
Claim since 2022. Financing through VCI on select models OAC. See dealer for details.
Here at KSL News Radio, we think it's time to get summer started. Join us Saturday, May 20th for the first annual KSL Barbecue Cook-Off, put on by Barbecue Pit Stop and SCA Competition. It's the best of the West competing for cash, prizes, and most importantly, bragging rights. There's local celebrity competitors, music, and lots of fun activities. Saturday, May 20th at the Triad Center. Brought to you by Camp Chef, Sheridan's Home and Patio, and KSL News Radio. Let's get to barbecuing.
If you planned on taking a drive anytime soon over Guardsman Pass, you may want to put the brakes on that one because it's still buried under quite a bit of snow. They're telling us, UDOT telling us, it may not open until at least mid-June. It's one of the stories we're following this morning.
5:39 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, the only crash we had in the Salt Lake Valley is gone now. That was on the 201 freeway at Bangerter Highway. We never had delays there anyway. And you've got a good drive if you're coming out of Tooele County using I-80 or the 201 freeway. Northbound I-15 has most of your traffic right now, although it's still pretty light between Point of the Mountain and downtown Salt Lake. Jason?
So far, it's been an accident-free commute up north, and it remains that way at this point. Light volume as you travel southbound I-15 from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Again, should take you about 29 minutes to go that distance at this point. Off up 84 into Weber Canyon. You're not going to really find any problems there in either direction. In fact, all the other canyons are looking good as well. Eric?
From Santaquin to Point of the Mountain, 30 minutes of drive time in northbound I-15 Utah County. And that's when you have got no accidents or delays. And that's what we got this morning, as it looks good on the city streets, too, if you're down south heading over to the freeway. Wake up with a sore back. Upgrade your mattress today at Durden's new sleep center. Durden's mattresses on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know at prices you'll love. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Afternoon thunderstorm activity will stay south today into central and southern Utah. We're partly cloudy across the Wasatch Front, high of 83. Overnight, 59, 88 tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny. Dry skies prevail into Sunday with a high of 89 degrees. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Fair and windy downtown at 60 degrees this hour.
How long have we been reporting that Ron DeSantis is set to announce his candidacy?
I think this is the real deal this time.
I hope so. We're talking to political director Rick Klein in a moment on KSL.
Stay with us at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical, and I wanted to let you know what you can expect when you walk into one of our 10, soon to be 11 stores. This story came to us from one of our many 5-star Google reviews.
I was panicked and needed help. My daughter had a serious family emergency, and I needed to travel out of town, but I couldn't haul my oxygen tanks with me. I needed portable oxygen. I tried several companies and they all said I didn't have a prescription. I went to Alpine and they called my doctor. 20 minutes later, I was on my way with a portable oxygen machine.
At Alpine Home Medical, we understand how urgent your healthcare needs can be. We'll do everything we can to exceed your expectations. Let us help you bring wellness home. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
alpinehomemedical.com.
Hi there, this is Clark Ivory with Ivory Homes. 2023 is going to be amazing, especially if you choose to move into a new Ivory home. If you want to buy a new Ivory home but aren't ready to sell your existing home, we can help out. Smart Move Guaranteed takes all the hassle out of renting your existing home. They manage the rental process and maintenance and guarantee your rental rate for 3 years. Smart Move Guarantee is exclusive to Ivory Homes. Drop by one of our model homes today.
Here's an idea from your neighbor at Hercules Credit Union. Invest in you, right? Because all this time, the equity in your home has grown and grown and, well, grown. So think about a few changes to help it grow even more. Right now, the rates on a Hercules home equity line of credit is 3.99% for 6 months. 3.99%. That's the perfect way to invest in yourself. So you can get started on the maintenance projects you've been putting off for so long, like going solar, repurposing the basement, or use it to pay off high-interest debt, or maybe just go on a much-needed vacation. Hercules will loan up to 80% loan-to-value on your home. And it's all so simple to access with your Hercules Visa card. No need to call or come in. It's just that easy. You know why? Because that's the Hercules way. Get details at HerculesCU.com. HerculesCU.com. Hercules Credit Union. It's neighbors helping neighbors.
KSL News Time, 544. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
prosecutors say a Camas author charged with murdering her husband had money problems, including a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy taken out without her husband's knowledge. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Utah Governor Cox says he isn't too happy about plans to expand I-15, but he knows it likely has to happen.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Our heaviest traffic flow right now is on the 201 freeway eastbound coming out of Magna towards Salt Lake, but they're still traveling at freeway speeds. No delays right now, I-15 east or west side belt routes or going through Parley's Canyon. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Looks like a dry and hot one for your weekend, but thunderstorms return next week. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 60 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
Pomp and circumstance on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Japan. President Biden and other world leaders touring the famous Itsukushima shrine today. Biden torn between the G7 and critical debt ceiling talks back in Washington with a June 1st default deadline. Also at the G7, Ukrainian President Zelensky will visit on Sunday looking for more resources to stop Russia's war. In court today, 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira accused of leaking classified government documents online, a judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial.
This is really not just an indictment of Teixeira, but it's becoming a broader indictment of the military's handling of its classified information and how it regulates the people that have access to certain materials.
ABC's Alex Mallon. Disney, the parent company of ABC News, raising the stakes in its battle against Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis by canceling a $1 billion construction project and some 2,000 jobs. I'm Derek Dennis. ABC News.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis seems to be gearing up for an official 2024 presidential campaign.
Joining us live from the KSL Newsline is ABC News political director Rick Klein. Seems like we've been saying he's getting ready to announce for quite a while.
Yeah, we have. And that may be one of the downsides of him is maybe he waited too long. And clearly his numbers were looking a little bit better when he was when the buzz was building about him a few months ago. This has not been a good ride for him all in all. Now, the flip of that, and the argument that I think he and his team will make, is there's plenty of time. The first debate's still a couple months away, but you're right that we've heard so much about him. There's a distinct possibility that he missed his moment. We'll have to see. That's going to be, I think, tested as a proposition in the months ahead.
There are plenty of other names out there, but does it really matter at this point?
That's the question too, right? I mean, right now, Donald Trump is as strong as ever, maybe stronger than he's looked since leaving the White House. And if that's the kind of race we're looking at, then it certainly limits the maneuverability of any candidate who might want to make the argument that he's got to be the one. And look, we don't know until you get to the voting, but the pre-campaign has certainly solidified the idea of one front runner who is above the rest, and then everybody else looks kind of smaller. Does that last? We don't know, but that's the reality that we're staring at early on, and I think it has to be acknowledged if you're going to look in a realistic way at this race and where we are, that it might not be as open as it appears. It might just be something that is dominated wire to wire by one particular candidate.
What about Mike Pence's chances? Do you like him or Ron DeSantis better?
Well, I think Pence has more of a challenge, not in defining himself. Everyone knows who the former vice president is, but defining a lane for himself. We know that Ron DeSantis can come out and say, "Look, I got these things done in Florida, and I believe in a lot of what Trump said, but I want to actually make more progress." Pence has a harder time because he has to appeal to the hardcore Trump base, many of whom, frankly, if you believe the president's rhetoric, think he's a turncoat, traitor. And if that's how you're coming at this, it's very hard to find a lane for you as a candidate. It's possible, certainly, and I think he's going to make things interesting when he runs with evangelicals and with kind of core base of support in Iowa that's potentially there. But it's a hard argument to make. I think harder for him than DeSantis if you're choosing one or the other.
All right, shift gears for us here for just a second on the debt ceiling debate in Washington. The House now saying they want to stand down on negotiations until the Senate makes a move?
Yeah, I mean, this is follow the bouncing ball on this and tell me where it's going to land. But yes, that's what some of the House are saying is, look, there's already been an attempt to solve this, whether you believe it to be in good faith or not, and make the Senate show some of its cards before you move ahead. I chalk this up to some of the typical kind of negotiations and positioning that happens around a debt ceiling these days, fortunately or unfortunately. But the bottom line is that would not move us any closer to resolution of this. I think that's fair to say that if we're talking about, the other side has to go first, no, you go first, no, you go first, that's not productive to actually getting to a solution.
Which we keep hoping will happen. All right, Rick, thank you. ABC News political director Rick Klein. I wonder what the chances are of seeing something finished on Monday, because, both Kevin McCarthy and President Biden seemed positive until this most recent, no, make them go first.
What would be the magic thing on Monday?
Just that the president's back. And they have said that they're close. And the sooner they do it, the better chance of not tanking the economy.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the fact that it'll get taken care of before June 1st.
Yes.
I don't know what day it is, don't care. Yeah. But they're working on it, and we'll continue to follow it with the help of the likes of Rick Klein. He's the political director for ABC News. KSL News Time 549. Time for a look at traffic and weather together. Every 10 minutes on the 9's brought to you by Granite Credit Union. Helping members since 1935, Heather Kelly's in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, things are looking great right now in the Salt Lake Valley. There are no accidents reported, no delays, especially northbound I-15 from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake. That's about a 20, maybe 22-minute commute. We are starting to see a bit more traffic fill in on Bangerter Highway. This is northbound through West Valley approaching 3500 south. No excessive delays there. And traffic looking good out of Tooele County on SR 36 and I-80. Jason.
Well, generally volume is lighter on Fridays, and it looks like that's going to be the case today up north in Weber and Davis counties, at least so far anyway. You find no resistance at all as you travel from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Your west side belt out by the highway, Legacy and 89, they're all moving at regular speeds. Eric?
And we're at a normal rate of speed in Utah County as well, 20 minutes northbound from Provo's University Avenue to Point of the Mountain. UDOT construction alert. Northbound Legacy Parkway will close this weekend from Saturday morning to Monday morning between Parish Lane and Park Lane. Crews will be placing bridge beams, so use I-15 as an alternate. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. How about 83 today, partly cloudy skies. Hot tomorrow, 88 degrees for your Saturday, mostly sunny. 89 on Sunday, partly cloudy skies. And then we introduce the thunderstorms. Afternoon T-storms possible on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We keep it in the 80s through Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 60 downtown. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We'll get another peek at how the markets are starting the morning in just a couple of minutes. KSL News Time, 5:52.
News at this hour sponsored by the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival. Visit deervalleymusicfestival.org for information.
Picture this, a warm summer evening, the sun setting behind the mountains. blankets being laid out on the cool grass, and world-class music. It's the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, and you're invited to escape into the music with 12 concerts at Snow Park Amphitheater featuring country pop sensation Leanne Rimes, the movie music of John Williams, alt-rocker Ben Folds, and the Beach Boys. Tickets are on sale now at DeerValleyMusicFestival.org. The sun is hanging in the sky ready to set. Blankets are spreading out across the cool grass. A slight mountain breeze can be felt as picnic baskets begin to open. It's the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, and you're invited to escape into the music. With 12 amazing concerts at Snow Park Amphitheater featuring hit headliner artists and everything from classical to classic rock, there's something just for you. Tickets are on sale now and going fast at DeerValleyMusicFestival.org.
Electrical problems? Call the electricians with the on-time guarantee.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Troy, I'm depressed. Bitches RV and American Fork is killing it.
What's depressing about that?
Stewart's RV managers and staff are still here, so we've got the same incredible customer service.
That's good.
And we brought in new RV brands like Ember RV and Go Play Travel Trailers.
Also good.
And now you can shop hundreds more RVs at bitches.com.
Still waiting for the sad part.
I'm used to being a mentor, but I'm turning into a manatee.
You do have the same shape. Bish's RV is now open in American Fork. Come see us at the previous Stewart's RV or at our North Salt Lake location. Bish's RV, where memories begin.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Premier Tech, a Canadian agriculture tech company, unveiled a $13 million state-of-the-art facility in Woods Cross. The company celebrated its continuing efforts to expand into the American market and have been operating in Utah since 2009. The new 61,000 square foot facility will double the size of its previous one.
The American Society of Health System Pharmacists is warning drug shortages in the U.S. are currently hitting a 10-year high. According to Medscape, the top 5 drug classes affected by shortages are chemotherapy drugs used in the treatment of cancer, many of which do not have alternatives. That's concerning.
Well, you wonder why that's not getting more attention
Yeah.
today. YouTube will soon bring longer, unskippable advertisements to the platform. The company announced it's bringing back the 30-second unskippable ads to connected TVs at a Brandcast event for advertisers. They also said they will introduce ads that begin when users pause videos.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. And the Dow futures up 85. That's 0.25%. S&P futures up 9. That's 0.2. And the NASDAQ futures are unchanged.
I just love headlines like this one on Market Watch. Stocks are rallying, but investors say they're miserable. and the following line is the capper. That's a good thing.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if it's a good thing on the roads out there this morning. It is Friday. Usually means it's a lighter drive, but we'll find out coming up in just a minute.
Hey, Derek Overstreet here from the New Millennium Group, financial advisors in Utah. You know, I've been helping people retire in the state of Utah for the last 20 years. The way we do that is we actually find out what is important to you. We create a step-by-step plan that takes into consideration your income, your debt, whether you want money from real estate, stock market, annuities, life insurance, whatever. If you want to deal with professionals, people that are fiduciaries and have a legal responsibility and obligation to do what's in your best interest, give my team a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. Or go to my website, utahsfinancialplanner.com. If you'd like to retire 3 to 5 years before you thought it was possible, give my team a call right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Win great prizes from KSL News Radio. This week, win tickets to Switchfoot on the beautiful Letdown 20th Anniversary Tour, November 4th at the Complex. Or win tickets to an upcoming Real Salt Lake home match. Download the KSL Sports app and listen to every RSL match for free. Plus, win tickets to the Dude Perfect Tour, July 20th at Vivint Arena. Get started now by texting the word contest to 57500 or visit KSLNewsRadio.com/contests.
5:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, Amanda, so far things are flowing along very nicely in the Salt Lake Valley. We haven't seen any slowdowns. I really don't anticipate any today. Friday, we will have fewer cars on the roadway than the rest of the work week. So right now, if you're northbound 15, about 20 minutes from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake. Same story coming out of Twilla County on the 201 and I-80 freeways. Jason.
70-plus miles an hour. That's what's going to greet you as you head out the door to work this morning. Southbound side of I-15 through Weber and Davis counties. No resistance all the way down into the Salt Lake Valley. Looking good on the other highways and side streets up north as well. Eric?
And in Utah County, you can expect normal movement throughout. I-15 looks good from Provo and Orem up to Thanksgiving Point, and the major features over to the freeway also in great shape. Choose a credit union that can handle all your business needs, from entrepreneur to enterprise. Mountain America Credit Union. Start exploring business banking, lending, and service solutions at macu.com/business. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
83 degrees for a high today represents the low temperature for the next 7. We'll be knocking on the door of 90 on Sunday, believe it or not. Just a 20% chance of showers. It's 60 degrees to start the morning.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
It's a developing story. Prosecutors say a Camas author accused of murdering her husband had serious money problems and took steps to benefit from his death.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, prosecutors say Corey Richens and her husband had a prenup where she would only get his assets, including the home, if he died while they were married. Amending charging documents say she owed millions of dollars and took out 4 different life insurance policies without her husband's knowledge, totaling to nearly $2 million. She also allegedly owed her husband thousands, he also formed a trust in 2020 with the kids being named as the primary beneficiaries, not her, leaving all of his assets and also the interest of his business in that. She is accused of giving him a lethal dose of fentanyl a year before she offered a book to help kids cope with the loss of loved ones. Prosecutors also say she had a locksmith drill into her husband's safe 3 days after he died. She's facing a charge of aggravated murder. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah's Water Watch, special coverage on KSL News Radio.
We've had several days of warm weather, and there's more to come this weekend. Utah's water watchers are keeping a close eye on flooding. KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ertz begins our team coverage on Utah's Water Watch.
Utah's Division of Water Resources Director Candace Hassenjaeger telling lawmakers Wednesday there's a couple of specific areas of concern. The National Weather Service is predicting rises in the South Fork of the Ogden River and the Sevier River near Hatch. She also says reservoir managers are doing the dance of making sure they have enough space for all the water to come down.
Hassenjager says about half of Utah's snowpack still needs to come down. Higher elevations are just now starting to melt off.
UDOT crews are using some heavy machinery to try and clear rivers near bridges to ensure the water can flow under instead of over. Crews used this technique on the Spanish Fork River and Thistle Creek yesterday. KSL News Radio's Hugo Rickard Bell continues our team coverage, Utah's Water Watch.
With the spring runoff flowing so high, it's critical that the riverbed is as clear as possible so the water doesn't flow over the tops of things like bridges and roads. What UDOT are doing is a very simple fix to a simple problem. They're using giant claws to pick up debris from the riverbed and clear the way for the water.
This is how crews were able to open Highway 89 near Thistle.
A lane of I-15 in the Farmington area is closed right now after some minor flooding made its way onto the freeway. The pool looks to be about an inch deep coming from outside the barriers. Beyond the lane closure, UDOT is now working on a plan to keep drivers away from the area and keep it from getting worse.
As Utah continues to grow, congestion does too. Plans to widen I-15 are moving forward despite Governor Spencer Cox disagreeing with the plan. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has the details. Alessandra?
Amanda, at his monthly press conference on Thursday, Governor Cox said one of his issues with the project is that widening the freeway will not fully fix Utah's congestion issues.
We will never be able to add enough freeway lanes over the course of time to meet all of our needs as a state.
However, he says the project needs to happen to match the freeway expansion that has been completed south of Salt Lake. The project is set to begin in 2029 and will likely require the seizure of commercial and community properties in Salt Lake and displace a large amount of family homes in Davis County. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
New data shows Lehi is Utah's fastest growing large city, but there's more to the story. KSL.com reporter Carter Williams has more on the new Census Bureau report.
They say its 5.6% growth is the 14th best among all the large cities in the nation even. But that's only because the Bureau is not counting any new large cities. If it did, Eagle Mountain would be the answer, and its 9% growth would be the second best in the country. Its growth has taken it to more than 54,000 residents overall. Now, if you're going to go by towns or cities between 10,000 and 50,000, it's actually West Haven or Tremonton in northern Utah.
Based off of numeric growth, the fastest growing city in the state would be Saratoga Springs. That city has gained 5,000 people in the past year.
Delegates will meet this weekend in Cedar City for the Utah Democratic Party Organizing Convention, Building for Lasting Change. Party Chair Diane Lewis says they'll be holding a series of trainings for party leaders later today, one day ahead of the convention start tomorrow at Southern Utah University in Cedar City.
We've already been preparing for that 2024 national convention and getting delegates and trainings and things like that for the national convention.
Lewis says they'll elect party leadership and there will be a virtual participation option as well.
KSL weather now with Matt Johnson. So far, Mother Nature's been helping prevent excessive snow melt with cooler temperatures, but that looks like it's about to change.
We've really enjoyed the upper 70s, low 80s, but now we're going to push it to the upper 80s for a couple of days. Today is 83, 88 for your Saturday, 89 on Sunday. Rivers already running high, fast, and cold. We're only going to go faster and higher with these warmer temperatures, so please be careful if around any of the rivers. Working into next week, looks like thunderstorm chances return Monday through Wednesday with some slightly cooler temps.
Matt says those upper 80s are more than 10 degrees above normal for this time of year.
First look traffic now, and here's Heather Kelly.
Roads are clear. They're dry as well, so you don't have any delays on I-15, the East or West Side Belt routes, 201 freeway, and you look good on all the city streets as well with no accidents reported. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Guardsman Pass connects Big Cottonwood Canyon to Park City, but KSL News Radio's Dale Spalding reports if you're planning to take the scenic drive for Memorial Day, you better make other plans.
Travelers looking for those dramatic vistas that make Guardsman Pass so wonderful will have to skip the drive until mid-June. UDOT Public Information Officer John Gleason says they're breaking out the heavy machinery to scrape through snow 25 to 30 feet deep.
We typically shoot to have it open around Memorial Day weekend, but there is that good possibility that closure could extend.
Gleason says that goal to get the pass open by June depends on how the snow melts, including some avalanche risk. Dale Spalding, KSL News Radio.
The North Rim of the Grand Canyon reopens on June 2nd. Officials say visitor services will be limited because of a break in the North Rim water pipeline. The park says a landslide destroyed hundreds of feet of the pipeline earlier this year. The Grand Canyon Lodge will also be opening on June 2nd.
TikTok is now banned by the state of Montana. Lawmakers are working to make sure the app doesn't stay in Chinese hands.
We can't allow a Chinese-owned company, and TikTok is owned by ByteDance, and ByteDance is controlled by the CCP, to become the most dominant media platform in America. The issue is not just that they can exfiltrate data from your phone or track your location. It's that increasingly TikTok is a source of news, particularly for young Americans. Giving the CCP the ability to control news in America strikes me as one of the stupidest things we could possibly do. So we have to either ban it or force a sale.
That's Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher on CNBC.
The big list of accidents is clear right now. No problems on the highways and side streets. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Breaking news is just one ask away.
Playing KSL News Radio.
The largest bank run in U.S. history.
Construction of the West Davis corridor continues. In your home, tell Alexa, play KSL News Radio. Then listen in your car at 102.7 FM.
Can you believe it? Just when you thought the savings at Paris RV can't get any better. Right now, it's Hot Deals Month at Paris RV, and you can save thousands on the easy-to-tow Forest River Rockwood 1640 LTD for only $12,995 or $146 a month. Need a bunkhouse? Save over $13,000 on the Gulfstream Amerilite Ultralight 248BH for $19,995 or $225 per month. Oh, you want to drive your rig so Mama can make you a sandwich on the way.
You want some cheesy poofs too?
Then climb aboard the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237LE for only $79,995 or $636 a month. You're saving almost $36,000. See Paris RV for details. This R&R lifestyle changing and cash back in your jeans is happening right now at Paris RV. With 4 locations, go to parisrv.com.
The lowest prices of the year are now at Paris RV.
Get the Intermountain West Contractor's Advantage. Quality, speed, value for your money, and $1,000 off a roof replacement. Visit IWCroofing.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
KSL News Time 6:09. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s is brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Wow, that UDOT camera on northbound I-15 looks pretty quiet, Heather.
It looks very quiet. That is not very many cars right now, especially northbound I-15 from Point of the Mountain into Salt Lake. That's generally where we'll have the most traffic first thing in the morning in the Salt Lake Valley, but not this morning. Things are free and clear, which is good news for everybody. You also have dry road conditions. If you're coming out of Tooele County, no delays yet as you go from SR 36 onto I-80 and then take I-80 all the way over to the airport. City streets are fairly quiet as well, although we are seeing traffic fill in on Bangerter Highway. Jason.
And likewise, no trouble up in Weber and Davis counties either as you make your way southbound and northbound for that matter. You're going to be doing so at regular speeds on I-15. No accidents on any of the side streets. Your delays are minimal at all. Actually, there's just no delays at all. We'll just say it that way. Eric?
I-15 Utah County looking good as well. No problems as you head north from Provo to Point of the Mountain. That's a 20-minute drive if you're getting on at University Avenue. Along the Wasatch Back US 40 looks good going by Jordanelle Reservoir if you're heading from Heber City up to Park City. Get Mr. Max Performance Missionary Package. 1 performance suit, 4 end collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, 1 pair of Echo or Johnson & Murphy shoes, just $595. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A beautiful spring day with highs right around 83 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We'll go mostly sunny tomorrow, 88. And how about this on Sunday? Partly cloudy skies, 89. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now in Salt Lake City, 60 degrees downtown.
Coming up in just a moment, the median price of homes is down. How much? And let's look at the trends with Caleb Silver just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Stay right there. We'll do that or have that conversation next at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks again for starting your morning with us. Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news. We love talking about our friends at Burt Brothers, and we always say, let the Burt Brothers family take care of your family. But that is especially true as you get ready to make one of the big road trips that you may have planned. And you want to make sure that you don't have something that spoils that trip along the way or makes it dangerous for your family.
We're going to do that again in a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, because we're taking a road trip with the boys after my son graduates. And our first stop is Burt Brothers. Just look at everything. Look at all my fluids. Check the tires. Make sure I'm good before I get on the road.
Yeah, and also should tell everybody they may be closer than you think, because they've got some new stores in South Salt Lake, Centerville, Provo, and St. George. And right now they've got some great deals on tires.
Yeah, they do. Up to $150 back on select Goodyear tires, up to $140 back on select Bridgestone tires, and up to $130 on select Firestone tires. All you have to do is use your Burt Brothers credit card, which will save you money across the board.
And, of course, it's going to give you flexibility with your monthly budget, too. Make sure your vehicle is safe and ready for whatever life's roads hold ahead. Stop into Burt Brothers.
Burt Brothers Tire and Service. It's your one-stop shop for complete auto care done better.
You've heard me say it before, Replenish Landscape Garden Products really has everything you need to make your lawn and garden work and look beautiful. Greg's here with me again. So many different products out there. I think people will find it convenient because they can come in, look at the specific product, get it loaded quickly, and get back home to get the job started.
That's what our focus is on bulk and bag materials. Obviously, we're known for the compost itself, which has gained a great reputation, but our soil blends are excellent. We have the bulk box garden blend. We have 4 different colors of wood mulch, 5 or 6 different kinds of shredded bark, and just a variety of things, including sand and gravel.
A lot of these playground chips and things are found in kids' playgrounds all over the valley. Find out why landscapers valley-wide use Replenish Landscape Garden Products. See them at 4660 South, 200 West in Murray. Go to their website at replenishcompost.com or give Greg and Mike a call at 801-262-5142. Replenish. It's good stuff.
With our roots in northern Utah, Holy Cross Hospital has a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and equally honored to care for northern Utah's vibrant communities. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
Interest rates keep rising, but don't worry, we'll cut them back down to size. Hi there, I'm Josh Osborne with Volkswagen Southtown, and during our rate cut sale, we're cutting rates in half.
Get 3.9 for 5 years at Volkswagen Southtown on any new car, and we have as low as 1.9 on used cars. Get the car you really want, like the Jetta, Tiguan, Taos, Atlas, or ID4 EV.
Save thousands in interest at Volkswagen Southtown, Utah's #1 Volkswagen dealer. Visit VWSouthtown.com.
Claim since 2022. Financing through VCI on select models OAC. See dealer for details.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
as plans roll forward to widen I-15, Governor Spencer Cox says he doesn't like the project but knows it must be done as the state continues to grow and congestion gets worse. Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
Second, new data from the Census Bureau shows Lehigh is one of the country's fastest growing cities.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And things are moving along very well all across the Wasatch Front. No accidents reported, no delays on city streets or major freeways. We want to keep it that way, so that means everyone has to play nice with each other this morning. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Low 80s today, but we could be pushing 90 over the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 58 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News.
I'm Derek Dennis. Debt ceiling talks in Washington get to a critical stage as President Biden is overseas at the G7 summit in Japan. Biden leaving a dinner early to get in on the down-to-the-wire negotiations from afar. Deadline for a default on the government paying its bills is June 1st.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has made it clear they would need a deal by the end of this weekend in order to avoid default. And time is simply running out here. He says that it will take 11 days for it to get through Congress. President Biden is overseas attending the G7 summit in Japan. But back here in Washington, senior aides to the president are huddled behind closed doors with members of McCarthy's team trying to hash out a deal.
ABC's Rachel Scott. Also at the G7, Ukrainian President Zelensky will visit on Sunday looking for more resources to stop Russia's war. And First Lady Dr. Joe Biden speaking near Japan's atomic bomb peace memorial in Hiroshima, honoring the 14,000 killed at the end of World War II. A deadly workplace shooting at an engine plant overnight in Ohio. The gunman shot 2 victims. One died and another injured before he shot himself.
There appears to have been one male suspect who entered the plant. And at this point, it looks like a targeted attack.
Moraine, Ohio Police Sergeant Andrew Parrish. The suspect is hospitalized and some of the other victims were injured in the chaos.
Let's go in depth here. The median price of homes is down 1.7% from just a year ago.
Joining us live on the KSL Newsline is ABC News contributor and editor-in-chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver. Help us understand what's happening in the housing market, Caleb.
Yeah, that's the biggest decline year over year we've seen since January of 2012, and you can blame high mortgage rates and a tight supply. Think about it. Mortgage rates have doubled from about 3% in January of 2022 to over 6.7% right now. That's pushing a lot of would-be home buyers out of the market. But think about the people that own their homes that were thinking about selling who are locked in at these lower rates. They're not incentivized to sell now to go find another place to live at a higher rate. So you got a standoff there. In your area, in the Salt Lake area, though, median home price is $549,000. The median home price across the country about $388,000. So you got high prices out there, pretty tight supply.
We talk about the biggest one-year drop, but isn't that part of that because we had such a quick rise in values?
Yeah, we had a really quick rise in values because mortgage rates were low, so everybody was buying coming out of the pandemic, but that cooled off quite a bit. We've had 13 of the past 14 months of lower sales, lower building permits, so you've really had a slowdown in the housing market. People talk about the impact of the Federal Reserve raising its interest rates. That's the first place we saw it, and it's carried over now for almost 14 months.
I see so much growth, so much housing construction here in our area, Caleb. That won't have any effect on prices?
That will, because that's new supply coming onto the market. But really, you're not going to get home buyers, first-time home buyers out there who may be on a limited budget, able to afford the mortgage payments if they're paying a 6.5% 30-year fix. So that's a really tough spot for a lot of folks to be in. They're creating a lot of single-family housing, a lot of residential construction you see around your city in certain parts of town. But still, you got to get people to want to buy. And we're in that spring and summer season. This should be a hot time for the housing market. But with these high rates, it could be stuck in this spot for a while.
Are home values tied at all, or are we at more risk through this possible downgrade of a U.S. credit rating?
Only if you have a variable mortgage, because then your mortgage rates are going to rise with interest rates. If we have a downgrade, it's going to knock bond yields way higher, so we're going to feel that across the market. But if your mortgage is fixed, you're going to be okay. If you have a variable, it's going to go higher. If you have a variable like a credit card, that's going to go higher too.
Just quickly, Caleb, if they play it right up to June 1st, right up to the limit, will our 401ks, will the stock market take a hit just because they pushed it too close?
Yeah, a psychological hit. You could see that happening, but you could see how the stock market's reacted just over the past 2 to 3 days. It's higher because people have at least hopes, and the politicians are saying the right things, that there will be a deal. Next week is going to be key. It's got to be reached by the end of next week, because then we get into that June 1st danger zone area where we do have to take some more dramatic measures by the Treasury.
All right, Caleb, thanks again for joining us this morning. ABC News contributor, editor-in-chief for Investopedia, Caleb Silver.
I can't imagine having my work being able to tank the economy. So if I don't get my work done, millions of people will suffer.
Well, there's a move I heard ABC reporting on the way in this morning to make it so that folks in Washington, if they aren't doing their job and don't get this fixed, don't get paid.
Yeah.
How about that?
I like that.
How about that?
All right, 6:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
We're starting to see a bit more traffic on the 201 freeway eastbound through Magna. That's pretty typical this time of the morning as people approach the 7200 West traffic light. Other than that, there are no delays, no accidents reported. Everyone's traveling at speed northbound I-15 from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake. That's about 20 minutes or so. You've got good speeds on the west side belt and Mountain View corridor, which usually has some slowdowns about this time of the morning. Jason.
Still holding out strong up in Weber and Davis counties with no accidents and no delays. Regular speeds takes you 29 minutes right now to go from Ogden to Salt Lake City. I guess depending on how heavy your foot is on that gas pedal. But otherwise, you're looking great. No problems on the major feeders over to I-15. All the other highways up north are looking good as well. Eric?
Over on the 215 eastbound, no troubles going north from Cottonwood Heights through Holiday, Mill Creek, all the way up to I-80 and Foothill Drive. Foothill looks good up to the University of Utah. Down Utah County, I-15, northbound, southbound, that's also in good shape. 24 minutes from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. UDOT construction alert, northbound Legacy Parkway will close this weekend from Saturday morning to Monday morning between Parish Lane and Park Lane. Crews will be placing bridge beams, so use I-15 as an alternate. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with some low 80s. 83 today, partly cloudy skies. Dry skies prevail for the weekend, but it is hot. 88 for your Saturday, 89 and partly cloudy for Sunday. Working into next week, how about Monday? Chance for storms in the afternoon, 87. We cool it off to 84 on Tuesday, chance for PM storms. And then a chance for more storms on Wednesday, 83. Low 80s prevail into Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now in Salt Lake City, 60 degrees in the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Good morning and happy Friday to you, everybody. If you ever want to text us and say happy Friday or let us know about something you see, you can text us on the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line 57500.
KSL News Time, 6:23.
Premium checking from America First Credit Union is so much more than a regular checking account. It's a saves you money, makes life easier, always has your back account. Because it's absolutely loaded with fantastic benefits and features. In fact, it comes stocked with so much awesome stuff. It was voted Best Perks by Money.com. So make sure you're rocking more than a checking account. Head to America First and apply for the exclusive protection, perks, and paybacks of premium checking today. Subject to membership eligibility and conditions. Federally insured by NCUA. Since 1939, America First has been helping people pursue their financial goals. And as we have, we've become one of the largest credit unions in the country. The reason why is simple. It's because every day we do our very best to help each person, family, and business we serve to realize their individual dreams and achieve financial well-being. True to our name, we always strive to put our members and employees first. So come join us and let us put you first. America First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, Doug Wright, and finally, it's legit. You can feel it. You can see it. You can sense that it is springtime. And spring fever is all around us. And the team at Stedman's, they're the experts at helping treat that spring fever. With the side-by-sides, the ATVs, the dirt bikes, and now the Power Assist e-bikes, they can get you outside with your family and friends. Utah has 5 national parks. We've got 43 state parks. You need to see them all and see them on a great vehicle from Stedman's. They've been in the business for 50 years plus now, dealing in the best brands, Polaris and Honda, Yamaha. There's Argo and Beta and, of course, KO as well. You're going to love the inventory that is in stock right now, a change from recent years past. Head on out to Tooele. The people at Stedman's, they can take care of you in Utah's great outdoors.
Good morning. We are watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Walmart sales are up 7.4% in the most recent quarter with the help of bargain hunters. The retailer is known for low prices and earns most of its U.S. revenue from groceries. Their e-commerce sales rose 27%.
Toyota redesigning its best-selling Tacoma pickup. The automaker hopes the 4th generation of the Tacoma will continue to lead the pack in the growing U.S. midsize pickup market. It will have a starting price of just a little over $28,000.
It's the end of an era for Chick-fil-A. The franchise's first standalone location is shutting down this week after 56 years in service. It first opened in 1967, offering the famous original chicken sandwich for just 59 cents.
Oh, those stories always kill me. Somebody was talking about 25 cents per gallon gasoline the other day.
Oh, yeah.
No, not in my lifetime. The Dow Jones Industrial Futures are still in the green by 62. The S&P is trying to stay in positive territory. It's up about 7.5, but the NASDAQ has turned negative here. It's down by 10.5 points.
I'm just looking at the UDOT cameras. Where are the commuters this morning?
It's Friday.
Nobody's going to work on Friday.
Yeah.
We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next. We had the guys from Superior Water and Air out yesterday. I think it was Ethan and Dallin came out to install some new faucets in our kitchen because our old faucets were leaking like crazy. So they installed these 2 new faucets, and then they put a new the coolest shower head on that has like a magnetic thing. So as soon as you go to put it up, it just right back up to, and they fixed a running toilet too. They just did a bunch of work. And these plumbers, how long have we talked about these plumbers?
Yeah.
Not only were they funny and wonderful, but they did a great job and they were out of there, bada bing, bada boom. That's Superior Water and Air.
It's been a while since we've been in their office, but the last time we were there, they walked us into a conference room, and a lot of them were sitting around the table.
The plumbers, yeah.
For a weekly meeting. And it was fun just to meet them and hear them talk about the tradition of plumbing in their individual families.
Yeah.
You know, 3rd and 4th generation plumbers and how much they enjoy doing the work they do.
I loved it that we had 2 yesterday because one was an apprentice learning the trade from the other one who had been a more established plumber. And I thought that's just such a cool thing.
Yeah. So they do things like install faucets and shower heads if that's something you need. But, of course, they'll be there in the case of an emergency as well. But they can do so much else for you. If you haven't had your air conditioner tuned up yet, we're going to be probably 90 this weekend. Be a good time to have them out and take a once-over.
Oh, yeah. And it'll save you money on your heating bills or your heating and air conditioning bills, too, because you need those expensive pieces of equipment to be functioning at peak capacity.
Yeah. And if your electric bill looks like mine in the last little while, you need all the help you can get. 801-974-9090 is the number to call, or find them online at superiorwaterandair.com.
This year's flood watch is affecting roads.
The water is not quite lapping over the bridge that I'm standing on, but getting very close.
And it's affecting homes.
The whole RV park was pretty much underwater.
Between now and the end of the month, we've got to get this right. Listen for updates 2, 3, 4 times a day. Flood Watch on KSL News Radio.
629 Traffic and Weather Together is again brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather Kelly.
We are seeing a few extra cars now on the roadways, especially northbound I-15 between Point of the Mountain and downtown Salt Lake. Not enough to slow anybody down at this point. It's still about 20, maybe 22-minute commute into the city. You also have good drive if you're coming out of Tooele County on SR 36, I-80, and the 201 freeway. No delays on city streets or accidents reported, and that's good news. Jason.
And looking good up in Weber and Davis County still. At regular speeds, you will travel from from Ogden down into Salt Lake City. Looking good out by the airport on the west side belt. 89 Legacy, they're moving at regular speeds. No problems on the side streets either. Eric?
Got a few more vehicles out on 800 North in Orem. This is more on the eastbound side from the freeway over to State Street and past that. But overall, there's not any real delay spots in Utah County. I-15, for instance, is looking good. From Payson to Point of the Mountain, that's a 28-minute drive. When you choose Performance Automotive and Bountiful, you're choosing selection. 4 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See it all at performancebountiful.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Looks like a high temperature today of 83 degrees, a few clouds out there, and then it gets up to the upper 80s for the weekend. 88 Saturday, 89 on Sunday. Right now, downtown, 58 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Drone technology is helping fire crews in southern Utah get an edge over wildfires.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, the drones were actually a key in firefighters being able to successfully knock down the 40-acre fire we saw along the Virgin River earlier this month. The drones flew above the fire and used infrared technology to pinpoint the hot spots of it. They also kept an eye on any nearby buildings, even helped crews get a better handle on how much damage the fire caused once they got it out. Santa Clara Ivans Fire and Rescue Division Chief Lance Haney tells St. George News he believes they are the only ones using this technology in Utah. He's reviewing the latest tech and will hopefully be able to get other agencies in on this at some point. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The mountain pass connecting Big Cottonwood Canyon to Park City won't be open until mid-June. UDOT Public Information Officer John Gleason says warmer weather makes avalanches more fluid, but also helps clear some of the snow out naturally.
I just checked with our crews, and there are some areas along Guardsman Pass that the snow levels are still about 25 to 30 feet deep, and so it's still pretty deep up there.
Oh, that's crazy. That means travelers will need to take other routes to get to Park City for summer hiking, biking, and camping.
Police say the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband owed more than $2 million in loans.
Police have amended charging documents and say Corey Richens owed a lender at least $1.8 million and owed almost $200,000 in taxes. She also owed her husband $500,000 for allegedly withdrawing the money from his bank account and spent tens of thousands on his credit cards a couple years before his death. Richens told him she would repay the money. And we're learning that Richens arranged for a locksmith to drill into her late husband's safe just 2 days after he died. There was more than $100,000 in there, which she then allegedly used to buy fentanyl. Jessica Lowell, KSL News Radio.
Ogden City Council just signed off on a new city flag. It has a light blue background, a white horizontal stripe through the middle, a navy blue circle in the middle, and a white mountain motif. The Standard Examiner reports local graphic designer Cody Hocken came up with the design.
Delegates will meet this weekend in Cedar City for the Utah Democratic Party Organizing Convention, Building for Lasting Change. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson has a preview.
Party Chair Diane Lewis says they'll be holding a series of trainings for party leaders later today, one day ahead of the convention start on Saturday at Southern Utah University in Cedar City.
We've already been preparing for that 2024 national convention and getting delegates and trainings and things like that for the national convention.
Lewis says they'll elect party leaders in 2 contested races for party chair and vice chair, 2 other races for secretary and treasurer are uncontested. She says this weekend's convention is fully hybrid, which means that delegates will be able to participate and vote virtually. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The groom whose bride was killed on their wedding day in Charleston weeks ago is now speaking out. Utah native Eric Hutchinson is moving forward with a wrongful death lawsuit over the loss of his bride, Sam. ABC's Ava Pilgrim reports an alleged drunk driver behind the wheel of a golf cart in several local bars and restaurants are among the plaintiffs.
The newlyweds sent off by their guests through a wave of sparklers, jumping in a golf cart with family, but they never made it home.
I remember waking up just kind of foggy, out of sorts, and I could see my mom's face, and you could just tell something was wrong. And
just down the road from their reception, their golf cart hit by a car. Hutchinson, his brother-in-law Benjamin, and nephew Brogan were rushed to the hospital. Sam died at the scene.
The driver of the vehicle that struck the golf cart has been charged with DUI and reckless homicide.
Frustration on both sides of the political aisle in the debt ceiling talks. ABC's Justin Finch reports from Washington.
Some House Republicans are now threatening to stonewall any potential deal unless their demands are met. And some Senate Democrats are calling for the president to take untested measures to avert a crisis.
A new poll shows 2/3 of adults in the U.S. say they're highly concerned about the impact on the national economy if the debt limit doesn't get raised by June 1st.
Let's get a check of first look traffic and go back to Heather Kelly.
Well, there are no delays in Utah, Salt Lake, Davis, or Weber counties. We do have a crash southbound I-15 in Box Elder County. It's up near the lake, but otherwise everybody's moving fine. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Fame and fortune comes to Utah through the movie business. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has the details. Alessandra?
Just a few minutes of Indiana Jones was filmed in Utah, drawing filmmakers to the state, bringing funds and popularity. Last year, $12 million was added to the Utah's Film Incentive Program, which has brought over 10 times that amount in benefits. The Utah Film Commission reports that for every dollar spent on film incentives, $7 returns to the state, leading to nearly $500 million in spending, tens of thousands of jobs, and over $6 billion in film tourism over the last 10 years. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
Artificial intelligence software may become easier to access. ABC's Andrea Fujii previews a new app.
The company OpenAI has launched an app for the popular software program ChatGPT, available right now only on iOS devices. Developers say it will allow users to get instant answers without ads or sifting through results, tailored advice, and professional input like feedback on ideas.
How about that? AI is going to put Siri out of work already here. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, testified before Congress this week suggesting ways lawmakers could regulate his own industry.
A huge victory for tech giants at the Supreme Court, but there are unanswered questions.
The U.S. Supreme Court unanimously sided with Google, Facebook, and Twitter in a pair of cases brought by families of Americans who were killed in terrorist attacks overseas. Families alleged the tech companies were indirectly complicit in the attacks by not removing extremist content on their platforms. But the justices weren't convinced the companies directly led to the attacks. The justices not answering the question of whether tech giants should get blanket immunity.
ABC's Andrea Fujii reporting from Washington.
This is what we like to see. No accidents right now. Normal travel times along the Wasatch Front. Traffic and weather together is next.
Get KSL Floodwatch updates on your phone this week. Text the word news to 57500 for the latest. You can also see Floodwatch coverage at the top of our website, kslnewsradio.com.
Dr. Kristen Francis is back with us from Huntsman Mental Health, talking about at-risk youth. Adolescence, of course, has always been hard, but today it's complicated even more by social media, online bullying, and the CDC recently released an updated youth risk behavior report that shows that girls in particular, along with LGBTQ plus youth, experience higher incidences of sadness, depression, and violence.
Yeah, these new statistics are really sad. 3 out of 5 young women and transgendered youth are experiencing sadness, depression, with more than 1 in 4 girls reporting that they'd seriously considered attempting suicide in 2021, and then 1 in 5 girls experiencing sexual violence in the past year. That's a big increase since the last CDC report in 2017. More than 1 in 10 girls reporting that they have been forced to have sex. This raises a lot of issues about consent and our need to really look at modesty culture and body shaming in addition to social media influence. So a lot of worrisome statistics coming from this CDC report.
What's a good way to help a teen dealing with these issues that could be a friend or family member, and parents too that are looking for advice?
We always recommend increased communication, a lot of transparency, approaching someone in a non-judgmental, non-shaming way, let them know that you're concerned, and asking a lot of questions. We know that increasing connectedness socially, both at school and at home, that's a really protective way of helping youth.
What's a good place to go online for additional information?
hmhi.utah.edu has a lot of resources for parents and for young people in our community about a lot of issues that people are dealing with, including sadness, depression, and thoughts of suicide, as well as sexual violence.
Dr. Kristen Francis from Huntsman Mental Health. Thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you.
We're going to be keeping an eye this weekend, starting tomorrow, on the Utah Democratic Party organizing convention that'll be taking place in Cedar City. We'll have more on what's happening down there coming up later this morning.
6:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935.
It is just a problem-free commute so far this morning in the Salt Lake Valley, although traffic is starting to back up if you're on the 201 freeway eastbound going through Magna between 8000 West and Mountain View Corridor. If you're on Mountain View Corridor, we're also seeing extra volume of traffic. Most of that is northbound in West Valley City, but I-15 is still at speed. No brake lights, no slowdown showing up between Point of the Mountain and downtown Salt Lake. Jason.
Well, we do have a few vehicles off to the side of the road, southbound I-15 up just south of Willard Bay. One of them is a flatbed semi there, and a couple of other vehicles. Looks like there may have been a little bit of a fender bender, but it's off to the right shoulder. Shouldn't cause you any trouble as you pass through there. And likewise, no trouble at all between Ogden and Salt Lake City on I-15. Eric?
In Utah County, we're looking at a solid drive northbound from Provo and Orem up to Thanksgiving Point. And if you're getting over to the freeway, the city streets are looking good. Provo Canyon 189 going through it. That's also in good shape going out to Heber City and along the Wasatch Back. Just a little bit of northbound slowing at the north end of Jordanelle Reservoir. That's where we've had some construction lately. So we might have that again as you go up towards I-80 this morning. Cyprus Credit Union's got you covered. Open a new Visa Platinum card and pay 0% for the first 6 months on all purchases and balance transfers. Learn more at cypruscu.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A beautiful spring day with highs right around 83 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We'll go mostly sunny tomorrow, 88. And how about this on Sunday? Partly cloudy skies, 89. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Let's see if I do a little refresher if the temperatures have changed. We've actually gone down a little bit. 58 degrees in Salt Lake City.
There are hardliners on the right and the left who seem to be trying to thwart the debt ceiling negotiation. What is going on with that?
It's called a game of chicken.
Yeah. They're making it into that for sure. We'll talk more with Karen Travers in a moment on KSL News Radio.
Stay with us. We'll try and sort it out at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
Advanced Window Products. Factory direct affordable windows. Call today and they're on their way. Financing available. Save now, pay later. 801-850-9100 or advancedwindowsusa.com.
Do you hear that? Spring is finally here. And with that comes all sorts of ideas and projects in your yard and garden. Plan ahead for your yard projects by ordering the Dirt Bag now. The Dirt Bag makes your life easier. They deliver the bag right to your driveway. When you're ready to attack the project, just open the bag and start planting. Want to save more? Bring your pickup truck or trailer and take the products home yourself. The Dirt Bag has choices from garden soil, decorative rock, mulch, bark mulch, and compost for your vegetable gardens and raised gardens. And the Dirt Bag will match all competitors' pricing on cubic yard bags. You'll find the Dirt Bag west of Mountain View Corridor at 6054 West, 9790 South in West Jordan. This is one Dirt Bag you'll love. It helps you save money and time. Order your bag now at thedirtbag.com. Thedirtbag.com.
I love that Dirt Bag.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News brought to you by the Dirt Bag for your garden projects, garden soil, decorative rock, and more. It's delivered right to your door.
I remember the world before microwave ovens. Pull up a chair, kids. In the olden days, you had to figure out dinner before breakfast time because defrosting the meat took the entire day. But thanks to a little-known scientist, you can nuke a block of ground meat in about 2.5 minutes. The first microwaves hit the market in 1967. Big, chunky ovens that cost $500. In today's dollars, that's about $2,000. But as prices came down, the size of the appliances came down, and they showed up in kitchens. Everybody loved the convenience, but honest, everybody worried they'd get zapped with death rays from the thing. But to us normal folk, microwaves were a miracle, thanks to a scientist who never sought the limelight. Dr. Robert Hall worked in the lab at General Electric, and he invented a breakthrough semiconductor laser that paved the way for the consumer microwave oven. He also, same guy, played a key role in the invention of the supermarket scanner. Robert Hall was so quiet, so humble. He died last November, and nobody noticed. His obituary was only published a few weeks ago. While the news traveled slow, popcorn cooks fast thanks to his genius. Robert Hall lived to age 96. And then he was done.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Then he was done. I still pop my popcorn with one of those old hot air blowers that probably will burn down your house if you leave it running.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so old technology still exists at my place. Jeff's back this afternoon, of course. He'll help get you to the weekend, 3 to 7 o'clock on KSL. Our news time is 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah's film industry brings millions to the state through fame, fortune, and funds. For every dollar spent on film incentives, 7 return to Utah's economy. Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
Second, prosecutors say a Camus author charged with murdering her husband had money problems, including a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy taken out without her husband's knowledge.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And things are still moving quite nicely on all the major freeways across the Wasatch Front. The 201 freeway has has most of the congestion right now. It's just as you approach 7200 West when the lights turn red. But other than that, you're going to have a good drive with no accidents reported. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, more 80s today, but partly cloudy. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 58 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
Debt ceiling talks in Washington get to a critical stage as President Biden is overseas at the G7 summit in Japan. Biden leaving a dinner early to handle negotiations from afar. A deadly workplace shooting at an engine plant overnight in Ohio. The gunman shot 2 victims. One died and another injured before he shot himself. The suspect is hospitalized and some of the other victims were injured in the chaos at the scene. Pushback against Montana's ban on TikTok operating in the state. 5 TikTok creators are suing to overturn the first-in-the-nation ban, arguing the law violates free speech rights. Montana's Republican governor says the bill keeps private data and personal information away from the Chinese government. I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
As we just reported, President Biden is at the G7 meeting in Japan. Starts today with debt ceiling negotiations continuing here.
Joining us live on the KSL Newsline is ABC News correspondent Karen Travers. It feels, Karen, like there's positivity from the president and Kevin McCarthy, but the fringes are still pushing hard.
Yeah, and, they're the ones who have to vote for things, too. But, it's obviously the margins are so tight in the House with that very slim Republican majority. And it's going to be about selling this to everybody in the middle in order to get this across the finish line. It might anger people on the far left and it might anger people on the far right, but it's putting something forward that can get across the finish line. You've got conservatives who are putting pressure on Kevin McCarthy to keep pushing for deeper spending cuts. Progressives who say the president cannot cave and accept anything when it comes to more work requirements for federal aid programs. But right now, you're right. You are hearing more positive signs from McCarthy, who said that the negotiations yesterday were in a much better place and that he can see a path toward an agreement, that the structure is there right now. The president, late last night, our time, had gotten an update from his team while he was in Japan and was told that steady progress was being made and that he was remains confident that Congress is going to take the necessary action to avoid a default. He actually cut short a dinner tonight, his time in Japan, in order to get another update from his team before he went to bed in Japan. But the negotiations then will continue in Washington today.
On the left side of the aisle, Senator Bernie Sanders is probably the biggest name, I guess, of the 11 senators that's pushing for this 14th Amendment resolution. But boy, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen doesn't think that's a good idea.
No, she doesn't. And the president also threw cold water on it, saying, it's interesting. And some lawyers have said it maybe could work because it basically allows the president, the idea would be that the president could unilaterally take action under the guise of the 14th Amendment and just blow past the debt limit and say that the government could keep borrowing beyond the limit. But he said it would immediately be challenged in court and the litigation would play out for a long time. So you'd have to come up with another solution for this current crisis. He said maybe consider it for future situations, but not for right now.
And then is it true, Karen, that members of the so-called House Freedom Caucus are arguing that that McCarthy should stop negotiating altogether?
Yeah, there's been the rumblings of that, but McCarthy is continuing these negotiations, and he had made it clear in that meeting with the president the other day that default was not an option.
All right, Karen, we'll leave it there and just keep fingers crossed that sometime next week
Exactly.
we get more positive news with your help.
That's Karen Travers reporting for us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
6:49. Let's get a look at traffic and weather together again. Every 10 minutes on the 9's brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Still quiet, Heather?
It is still very quiet. We don't have any accidents reported in Tooele County or the Salt Lake Valley on city streets or major freeways. We are seeing the delays, though, on the 201 freeway eastbound in Magna. That's very typical this time of the morning. And Mountain View Corridor quite a bit more crowded as you head north between 4100 and 3500 south. But I-15, where most of the traffic is, no delays right now. 20 minutes about from the point of the mountain into downtown Salt Lake. Jason.
Well, we have another vehicle that's now pulled over at this accident there southbound I-15, just south of Willard Bay. That makes in total now 5 vehicles, including the emergency a responder that's on scene there. Not sure exactly what's going on and why they keep pulling over. Maybe they're discussing where to go for breakfast. I'm not real sure, but it doesn't matter because it's off to the side of the road and it's not really causing you any delays. Just keep an eye out as you pass through that area. That's really the only thing we've got going on up north. Eric?
Northbound I-15 Utah County is looking good from Santa Quin Basin all the way up to Lehigh endpoint of the mountain. If you're going through Provo Canyon, no trouble there. And along the Wasatch Back US 40 looks good. Just a little patch of northbound slowing here and there as you work your way past Jordan Reservoir, getting up towards the Park City turnoff. Box Elder County is for the birds. The spring migration is in full swing at Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. Find out more at visitboxeldercounty.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. Dry skies, 83, partly cloudy today. Tomorrow, hot, 88 degrees. For your Saturday, mostly sunny skies. Pushing 90 degrees on Sunday. We'll go 89, partly cloudy. Hey, hot temperatures prevail into Monday, but we introduce the PM thunderstorms yet again. That'll be the case Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Highs in the 80s, but chance for storms. Dry skies return potentially by next Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, sunny and 58 degrees, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I just saw some of the video that one of the photogs from Channel 5 shot in Murray City Park, Little Cottonwood Creek. Getting pretty close to the bank, or to the top there, and maybe jumping the banks. It's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on, especially this weekend as we start knocking on the door of 90 degrees for a high. And we just want to let you know that if you see some flooding in your area that we may miss, make sure you reach out to us on the text line. You can do it easily by just texting us at 57500. That is the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line. We'll get money news next.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. The other night, Dee and I had the most amazing evening of entertainment at Hale Center Theater as we enjoyed Hello, Dolly. It won 10 Tony Awards. Presentation on the Hale Center Theater main stage is simply remarkable. And you forget how many wonderful songs are included in Hello, Dolly. Of course, the headliner, Hello, Dolly, but also It Only Takes a Moment and so much more. Don't miss your chance to see Hale Center Theater's presentation of Hello, Dolly. And just down the hall, it's Hans Christian Andersen in New York. Don't forget, coming up, too, we've got Mary Poppins Jr., Newsies, and, of course, Catch Me If You Can. That's a murder mystery. Around the World in 80 Days. And as we head into the holidays at the end of the year, it will be Elf the Musical. Do not miss out. Get your tickets now for Hale Center Theater's Hello, Dolly by going to hct.org.
Electrical problems? Call the electricians with the on-time guarantee.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
With summer coming, everyone knows Memorial Day's the best time of the year to get a Bullfrog Spa. Right now, you'll save up to $5,000 off MSRP on select models, plus get a free water care upgrade and special financing for 24 months on our energy-efficient and customizable hot tubs. Sale ends Memorial Day, so don't miss out on the best deal of the year on a beautiful Bullfrog Spa. Find your nearby Bullfrog Factory store at bullfrogfactorystores.com.
Bullfrog Spas. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Twitter is accusing Microsoft and its partner OpenAI of illegally using Twitter data to develop artificial intelligence systems. The letter addresses a seemingly narrow use of information from Twitter's database of tweets, and it foreshadows a possible fight over AI.
KSL Drives, Hyundai and Kia have agreed to a consumer class action lawsuit settlement worth $200 million over rampant car thefts. The settlement will cover about 9 million U.S. owners and includes up to $145 million for out-of-pocket losses.
I would love to know more about this next story because it's one of the stranger things we've talked about. But Wendy's is testing out a new way to deliver your food via an underground robot. We're wondering what that infrastructure looks like.
How do you send a hamburger on an underground robot?
And if it's not existing infrastructure, how many roads, sidewalks, people's front yards?
Existing, which means is it coming through a water line or what's it coming through?
I don't know. The company is working with a Texas hyperlogistics company called Pipe Dream to test an underground robot system that will deliver digital orders to designated parking lots in a matter of seconds.
I need more information.
So it wouldn't come to your house. It would just go to a designated spot.
Yeah.
And you'd
near
pull
your
into the
house.
parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess put a code in somehow and access your burger.
And I'm trying to think if there's a parking lot closer to me than the Wendy's parking lot.
And what's that line of people look like if everybody's waiting to get their burgers in the parking lot?
And what if somebody takes the wrong order?
I don't know. We should get answers to these
We
questions.
have burning questions. All right. Right now, let's see. A half hour before the opening bell, the Dow futures up 105. That's 0.3. S&P futures up 13. That's 0.3. And the Nasdaq futures up 9. That's less than a tenth.
Just about a minute ago, we learned that eastbound slowing now on 201, approaching 7200 west. Otherwise, the freeways look pretty good. But we'll check your traffic and weather together next.
Are you starting to feel boxed in? Suffering from achy bones or getting restless maybe? You need to get outside and come to the Camping Fever RV sale at General RV, May 17th through the 20th. With up to 40% off your favorite RVs, you could save thousands. Don't let your vision start to blur because you've been staring at four walls all day. See General RV and just start camping. In Draper off I-15.
Camping in an RV may be habit forming. You could have so much fun, you'll never want it to end.
Smart, connected, modern. Discover life-enhancing independent living services at Trio South Ogden. They do things a little differently there because you're different. With everything you need to support your best self, you'll find that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young of heart. Trio South Ogden's signature programs provide a unique approach to wellness that brings living well and well-being to life. To learn more, contact Trio South Ogden at 801-475-4004 or visit triosouthodden.com.
Give your small business one tech solution that checks all the boxes. It's all here with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cyber threat security for peace of mind. Check. The power of the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business. That's a triple box check right there. And save up to 75% a year on your wireless bill with Comcast Business Mobile. Check and cha-ching. It's everything you need to keep your business connected. From the company powered by the next generation 10G network. The complete connectivity solution. Get started for just $49 a month for 12 months when you add mobile. And ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares weighted average of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data. Savings vary.
Even before the pandemic, 1 in 5 American adults experience some form of mental illness, depression, suicide, prescription opioid misuse. Utah isn't immune to our share of challenges, but there is hope. We need to take action to keep our loved ones safe. That's why KSL has teamed with the University of Utah Huntsman Mental Health Institute to bring you hope and help you thrive. It's Healthy Mind Matters. Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
6:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. How about now, Heather?
Well, we've got a couple of roadways that are a little bit crowded. They're the 201 freeway eastbound through Magna, as well as Mountain View Corridor northbound approaching 3500 south in West Valley. But everybody else is still at freeway speeds, whether you're northbound I-15 coming into downtown Salt Lake or coming out of Twilla County on I-80. Jason.
Looks like the breakfast place has been decided, and everybody's driven off now from this accident. Southbound I-15 up in the Willard Bay area. Southbound between Ogden and Salt Lake City still rolling along at regular speeds. No delays there. It takes you about 29 minutes to travel that distance. Eric?
And in Utah County, I-15 is cruising along at a normal rate of speed. You're looking at 20 minutes if you're getting on the freeway University Avenue in Provo and heading north all the way to the county line. Redwood Road also in good shape going north. If you're heading east from Redwood on the 2100 North Pioneer Crossing at this early hour, no big delays just yet. Visit the largest swim spa and hot tub supercenter in the state at Hot Tub Factory Outlet and Backyards of America. Hot tubs starting as low as $49.99 MSRP. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Seems like that sunrise just keeps getting earlier and earlier. Sun's up downtown. Beautiful morning. We'll shoot for a high of 83. Right now it's sunny and 59 degrees in Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. Good morning, I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
It's a developing story. Court documents are shedding light on new allegations against a Camas author who's accused of murdering her husband.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, prosecutors are outlining a long line of alleged money problems for Corey Richens, who's accused of giving her husband a lethal dose of fentanyl a year before she published a book to help kids cope with the loss of a loved one. Amended charging documents say Richens and her husband had a prenup stating she would only get his assets if he died while they were married. Those documents also say she owed millions between a lender, her husband, and the IRS, and took out several life insurance policies without her husband's knowledge, worth around $2 million combined, the most recent being taken out a month before he died. Prosecutors also say she hired a locksmith to drill into her husband's safe 3 days after his death. She's been charged with aggravated murder. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah's Water Watch. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Weekend warm weather has Utah's water managers paying extra attention to flooding. KSL News Radio's Lindsay Aerts begins our team coverage on the Utah Water Watch.
With several days of warm temperatures behind us and more to come, Utah's Division of Water Resources Director Candace Hassenjaeger telling lawmakers Wednesday there's a couple specific areas of concern.
Significant rises are forecasted in the South Fork of the Ogden River and the Sevier River near Hatch.
She also says reservoir managers are doing the dance of making sure they have enough space.
Dam operators are trying to release as much water so they can capture it and attenuate any floods that come down.
Overall, she says about half our snowpack still needs to come down, but those higher elevations are just now starting to melt. Lindsay Aerts, KSL News Radio.
UDOT is using machinery to drag the bottoms of many of Utah's rivers. KSL News Radio's Hugo Rickard Bell continues our team coverage, Utah's Water Watch.
When you have a blocked plug hole, you pull out the hair. Well, according to UDOT's John Gleason, it's the same premise.
It's not just water that's coming down, but it's also bringing with it all sorts of debris, and there's silt that's just littering the riverbed there and making it so that the water really doesn't have any place to go.
UDOT were able to open Highway 89 yesterday by dragging the river and freeing up the flow. Hugo Rickard Bell, KSL News Radio.
The Ogden River is roaring this morning. It's one of the many areas under flood watch. The river floated almost 110% overnight. It's still in only a minor flood stage, however, which is better than what emergency managers feared.
UDOT representatives have talked about widening I-15 in some areas, and Governor Spencer Cox says he isn't too happy about it. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has more. Alessandra?
And one thing Utahns are all familiar with is traffic. On Thursday, Governor Spencer Cox told residents that no plausible amount of widening will eliminate traffic congestion in the state. But even with his objections to the project, Cox says it's still necessary as Utah continues to grow. UDOT estimates they can start construction in 2029, but it would require the seizure of commercial and community properties in Salt Lake and the displacement of a lot of homes in Davis County. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
The Utah Democratic Party convention kicks off at Southern Utah University in Cedar City tomorrow. Party Chair Diane Lewis says it was time to move from usual party strongholds in Salt Lake, Davis, and Summit counties to down south.
We decided that we wanted to bring it south so that our rural counties could get closer to home.
Lewis says they'll elect party leadership and will also prepare delegates with training for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next year. Lewis says delegates will be able to participate and vote virtually as well.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The groom whose bride was killed on their wedding day in South Carolina just weeks ago is now speaking out. Utah native Eric Hutchinson is moving forward with a wrongful death lawsuit over the loss of his bride, Sam.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. That night going from an all-time high to an all-time low.
An allegedly drunk driver behind the wheel of a golf cart and several local bars and restaurants are among the plaintiffs. The driver has been charged with DUI and reckless homicide.
We're hearing talk of more sanctions on Russia among the leaders of the world's richest countries now meeting in Japan.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak still believes sanctions can be an effective tool against Moscow. The idea, he says, is to
ensure that Russia pays a price for its illegal activity.
But the bottom line is sanctions in the energy sector have hurt Western European countries far more than Russia. And their oil exports have now hit a post-invasion high, with the country shipping out more crude in April than in any month since the conflict began. Tom Rivers, ABC News, and the Foreign Desk.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report, and here's Heather Kelly.
We haven't had any problems all morning long across the Wasatch Front. The only crash we had way up in Box Elder County is cleared. That was southbound I-15. And things are moving along pretty well on the east and west side belt routes around the Salt Lake Valley. You do have just a little bit of congestion on 201 freeway and Mountain View corridor. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 7:05. We have breaking news on KSL. Utah's monthly unemployment report for April has just been released.
Joining us live on the KSL Newsline is the Department of Workforce Services Deputy Director, Nate McDonald. How do those numbers look, Nate?
Well, actually, we're looking pretty good. Our unemployment rate dropped just ever so slightly. We were at 2.4% the previous month, and we're at 2.3%. And so it's a drop there, even though we've been hearing of some layoffs here and there with a few different companies. We've been able to absorb those job losses, and we're continuing to see some job growth.
I just keep wondering, I picture you with a limbo stick over there. How low can we go with these unemployment rates?
Yeah, I mean, with how tight our labor market has been, to still be in the low twos is really impressive. And the question is how long can we continue to do that? And really what is allowing us to still have such low unemployment is really that we're seeing job growth continuing to happen. So over the last 12 months, we've added 43,500 jobs to the economy, and that's in 9 of the 10 different private sectors we measure are seeing that strong job growth still happen.
Is there a sector that's leading the way?
Yeah, right now our leisure and hospitality services are leading the way, and followed by our professional businesses, which is, professional business where we have a lot of headquarter companies, and our tech industry is in there as well. And then also education and health service jobs are really come back strong from post-pandemic.
The tech side of that is interesting to us because it seems like all of the headlines, or many of them, center around tech job losses over the last few years.
Yeah, and so, the professional business includes tech jobs, but what we're seeing is even though there have been some companies that have definitely had to do some layoffs, we've been able to see those job losses just be absorbed within other industries or within other companies that are still doing well. And so that's been a really strong side. The other thing I wanted to point out that's been interesting about this report is really the disbursement. You guys have always been great at asking me, what about rural Utah? and one of the interesting things where we've seen these new jobs that have been added is about 22% of those jobs are in rural Utah. And when you look at our overall population, only 20% of our population is in rural Utah. But you also imagine a number of them would commute into jobs that are along the Wasatch Front. So we would often see that number actually be, the new jobs being added always skew more heavily along the Wasatch Front. So to see more than 20% of these new jobs be in rural Utah really points to some good activity that is happening in our rural communities.
That is so interesting. I saw an article this morning too, Nate, about how Utah was, I don't know if it said that we were the top or near the top of states in the country when it comes to employing teenagers. Does anything of it, does it break down by demographic at all?
Well, we do definitely break down. This report doesn't show that, but we've done some studies and we have talked a little bit about that of late. So we saw that headline as well. And Utah does do quite well with our labor force participation in that younger demographic group. And there's a number of reasons why. You could definitely point to, one, we have larger families, and larger families, you get our younger kids, they get out and they get working more. But also how tight our labor market has really benefited our younger teenagers with being able to have not just job opportunities, but better paying job opportunities, and that's been something that I think has helped attract our younger workforce to get in that workforce, because they can be making, over $10 an hour right now, and with several companies. And that was unheard of when I was growing up. We made the minimum wage.
Or less.
Yeah, you're correct. And so that's something that I think has really benefited our younger youth. And employers have had to be more creative to try to attract more labor force. And one of them has been definitely our younger population.
All right, Nate. So overall, you give it a thumbs up, huh?
Yep, still looking good.
All right, Nate, we always appreciate your time. Nate McDonald is the Department of Workforce Services Deputy Director.
You're sending one out into the workforce.
Yes, my
I
youngest
saw your
son
picture yesterday.
just got his first job at Cinemark. He went to work last night. He had had training before, but last night was his first night on the job, and he was so excited.
Yeah, he looked like it. So if you go to Cinemark and you see the name tag Aiden.
Aiden, yeah, with the curly hair. That's my boy.
Tip the boy.
Yeah.
It is 7:09. Time for us to get a look at traffic and weather together, which we do every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather Kelly.
Well, we just had a crash called out on the scanners. This is on Fort Union Boulevard heading eastbound into the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon. That's right where Fort Union turns into Big Cottonwood Canyon Road, right near Wasatch Boulevard. Haven't seen the crash yet on cameras, but we are seeing backups about a block or so trying to head east. Otherwise, you've got a good drive northbound I-15, still 20 minutes from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake, with just a bit of crowding on the 201 freeway in Magna. Jason.
All your side streets over to I-15 are looking pretty fantastic this morning. We haven't had any accidents up north, and that continues at this point. Haven't had really any delays either. 89, Legacy, West Side, Belled out by the airport. They're all looking good, as is I-15. Eric?
In Utah County, I-15 also in great shape. Looking at about a 24-minute drive northbound from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. 2100 North Pioneer Crossing, not enough congestion yet to cause delays if you're heading from Redwood Road over to the freeway. Along the Wasatch back, US 40 looks good. And to I-80 through Parley's Canyon, no trouble there. Got dry roads through the mountains. That's always a good thing. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brand you know, at prices you'll love. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL hourly forecast. We've got sunny skies at 7 a.m., but mild temperatures in the low 60s. We keep light and variable winds into the lunch hour. Temperatures right around 75, mostly sunny. By afternoon, just partly cloudy skies, and temperatures will top out today in the low 80s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's beautiful out there this morning, 59 degrees.
Coming up in just a moment on KSL News Radio, we will tell you more about President Zelensky from Ukraine attending the G7, where President Biden has been. We'll address that in a moment on KSL News Radio.
The mountain pass connecting Big Cottonwood Canyon to Park City will remain closed for a few more weeks. KSL News Radio's Dale Spalding reports right now it's buried by 25 to 30 feet of snow.
UDOT Public Information Officer John Gleason says those mountain views the pass is known for will be closed until at least mid-June. As crews carve out the snow using scrapers and plows, they still have to work with snow 5 times deeper than a person is tall. Gleason says the heat is helping and hindering with additional flooding from the mountains.
UDOT crews are facing increased avalanche risk in the pass, especially as the snow melts and becomes more fluid and heavy.
Anyone who sends paper checks through the mail could be the target of an old scam that has seen a recent revival.
The scam begins when thieves are able to acquire a check, usually stolen from a mailbox. Then they dip it into a chemical solution.
Usually it's something like acetone that you can find in most nail polish removers. And that allows them to get the ink that you have used to write the check off of the check.
John Breo with the National Consumers League says sending money electronically is safer. But for people who want to write checks, he recommends a certain pen.
Indelible gel black ink pen. What we've heard is that that's a little more difficult for the acetone to take off of the paper.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Rough start for Tony Finau at the PGA yesterday. Finau shot a 6 over par front 9. He got his first birdie on the par 3 11th. That settled him down, finished with 4 birdies. He's 2 over, 7 shots behind the leader, Eric Cole.
It's never too early to think about a summer vacation.
St. George Island's a 9-mile stretch of sugar white sand with clear, gentle waves off the Florida Panhandle that draws this year's top honor as the nation's best beach. Professor Stephen Leatherman at Florida International University has been rating America's public beaches for 33 years. He says the Florida Island's unspoiled natural beauty, camping, water activities, and stargazing sets it apart. Counting down from number 5, other top strands of sand include Lighthouse Beach in the Outer Banks, Caladesi Island State Park in Florida, Cooper's Beach in the Hamptons, and runner-up Dukahanamoku Beach on Oahu. I'm Jennifer King.
Trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to live on Barbie's Malibu World or in Barbie's Malibu World, you should check out a new Barbie Cafe located in New York. The theme cafe has dishes like the Pacific Paradise Rainbow Pancakes, West Coast Wave Wedge Salad, and the Golden Coast Cauliflower Bowl. The Barbie movie comes out this summer on July 21st.
Purdue Farms is out with a chicken-flavored beer. The limited edition beer is a honey double citrus summer ale brewed with classic grilled chicken seasonings like rosemary, thyme, and pink peppercorn. The beer can chicken beer will be available for purchase at beercanchicken.beer. .beer?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't
Starting
know.
next week.
Dot
beer.
beer.
I didn't know there was a .beer. See how much I know about this?
I'm not a beer drinker.
Me neither.
But that sounds like something that would turn off even the most ardent beer drinkers
Yes, me too.
out there. KSL News Time, 7:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
prosecutors say a Camus author charged with murdering her husband had money problems, including a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy taken out without her husband's knowledge. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, job growth slowed in Utah during the month of March, but our unemployment rate went down to 2.3%.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
We are seeing a bit more traffic on the roadways right now than we did half an hour ago or so, but still no backups, no delays northbound I-15 on the west side belt or the 201 freeway making way around the Salt Lake Valley. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Looks like a dry and hot one for your weekend, but thunderstorms return next week. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 59 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Derek Dennis. President Biden stepping away from a dinner at the G7 summit in Japan to get in on critical debt ceiling talks back in Washington. Progress being reported on the negotiations, but still no deal to avoid default by June 1st.
A group of hardline conservatives are telling House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to stand by even deeper spending cuts, saying they will not accept a deal that's, quote, watered down. Meanwhile, over in the Senate, some Democrats say the president shouldn't be negotiating about this at all. The bottom line, the margins here are so close, the consequences are dire, and leaders on both sides are trying to tell their parties that in order to avoid default, neither side will get what they want.
ABC's Rachel Scott. Major moves on the migrant crisis in the U.S. Texas Governor Greg Abbott busing dozens to Denver for the first time. The governor saying he'll continue sending migrants to so-called sanctuary cities run by Democrats until the Biden administration secures the border. And in New York City, the historic Roosevelt Hotel out of business due to the pandemic, reopening as a migrant shelter, ultimately for some 800 families with children who were bussed in. In court today, 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Texera accused of leaking classified government documents online, a judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial, while some of Texera's superiors also face discipline.
Two of the supervisors from Texera's unit were actually placed on suspension, and their clearances also were suspended. You could see further suspensions down the line as the government continues its investigation, as the Pentagon also continues its parallel internal investigation.
ABC's Alex Mallon on ABC Start Here podcast. Funeral today for a New York City man who gained national attention. 30-year-old Jordan Neely died after Marine veteran 24-year-old Daniel Penny put him in a chokehold on a subway train this month. Penny's charged with manslaughter. Reverend Al Sharpton delivering today's eulogy. You're listening to ABC News.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will be attending the G7 summit in Japan.
ABC's Terry Moran reports President Zelensky will head to Japan after finishing up a couple of meetings in the Middle East.
As the news broke today that President Zelensky would come here in person, a senior White House official told me that the leaders at this summit need to hear from Zelensky directly, that's critical, calling this moment an inflection point in the war. With so much riding on the coming Ukrainian offensive, the leaders of the nations here really have boosted arms shipments to Ukrainian forces, especially anti-aircraft systems, long-range artillery, but Zelensky will be looking for more. And here in Hiroshima, a solemn moment today as President Biden and the other summit leaders went to the Memorial Peace Park near Ground Zero of the atomic bombing here in 1945. And with Vladimir Putin rattling the nuclear saber in Ukraine, President Zelensky will bring a unique witness of the abiding dangers of nuclear weapons. But President Biden, he's still dealing here with the debt ceiling crisis back home. He got a virtual briefing from his negotiating team in Washington earlier, and the president actually left the summit dinner early so that he could go back and work on negotiations some more.
I can't imagine how fascinating a meeting like that would be with world leaders talking about the most important topics in the world, problem solving. I mean, I picture it that way. I have no idea what it's actually really like.
Well, especially in the situation they're in right now, following the pandemic, with all the things that they're having to deal with that have turned economies upside down.
Right. And learning from each other, what's working, what's not working.
Yeah, and who do they bring in as the experts? Is it just the leadership, or do they have people that come in and counsel them?
I'm sure they have experts.
That would be fascinating, too. ABC's Terry Moran, of course, will continue to follow the G7 summit, the president there, and have any more information that becomes available for you throughout the day.
7:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, we really haven't had any problems all morning long if you're tooling around in the Salt Lake Valley, even coming out of Tooele County itself. SR 36, seeing a little bit more traffic now heading north, trying to get onto I-80, but not enough to really slow you down or back you up heading over to the airport. The 201 freeway has the thickest traffic at the moment. That's mostly because there's only 2 lanes of traffic and you've got stoplights to contend with going through Magna. Northbound I-15, where most of the traffic actually is free and clear from Point of the Mountain into downtown Salt Lake. Jason.
If you're running late for work this morning, you're not going to be able to blame it on the traffic. It's southbound I-15 still holds out strong at regular speeds. In fact, everything looking fantastic in Weber and Davis counties this morning. No accidents, no delays anywhere. It's just a really, really nice Friday morning commute. Eric?
From Santa Clara Payson, northbound I-15, Utah County, all the way up to Timpanogos Highway, everything is looking just fine. Getting over to the freeway right now out of Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, doesn't look to be too much trouble on Pioneer Crossing, Lehigh's Main Street, or 2100 North. And if you're heading north on Redwood, it looks good by Camp Williams, going up to Porter Rockwell, and then into Bluffdale, Riverton, if that's the way you're going. Burke Brothers is more than just tires. They do brakes, batteries, oil changes, heat, AC, shocks, and struts. Basically anything from regular vehicle maintenance to those pesky check engine lights and flat tires. Burke Brothers. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with some low 80s. 83 today, partly cloudy skies. Dry skies prevail for the weekend, but it is hot. 88 for your Saturday, 89 and partly cloudy for Sunday. Working into next week, how about Monday? Chance for storms in the afternoon, 87. We cool it off to 84 on Tuesday, chance for PM storms. And then a chance for more storms on Wednesday, 83. Low 80s prevail into Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sun's up, and so are the temperatures in downtown Salt Lake City this hour. We've jumped to 61 degrees. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
An airbag inflator maker is digging in against demands from federal safety regulators.
More than 33 million Americans don't realize they're driving vehicles which contain a potentially deadly threat. Airbag inflators, which can in rare cases explode and spew shrapnel. And because of a dispute between federal regulators and a manufacturer, they may not find out anytime soon. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration wants ARC Automotive to recall 67 million inflators. ARC's refusing. That could set up a court battle. Earlier this week, General Motors recalled nearly 1 million SUVs, which have ARC airbag inflators. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Everyone loves a good story, a bedtime story, campfire story, ghost story, even a love story. And every business has a story to tell. This is where Dave Lindsay of Avalanche Studios comes in. His business is to help you tell your story.
When a business tries to attract new customers, train staff, recruit employees, or get new investors, they are telling a story. At Avalanche Studios, we use the power of video to help businesses tell those stories. We create TV ads, branding videos, training videos, content for websites, or stream live events. We take care of the entire process from script to screen. We develop the concept, write the script, hire actors, and film cinematic visuals. We do all the editing, sound design, music, graphics, effects, narration, and more. Companies like Comcast, Instructure, Utah.com, Grip6, UDOT, Deseret Digital Media, and even the Salt Lake Chamber have trusted us to tell their stories. For over 25 years, our team of creative professionals and video storytellers at Avalanche Studios have been helping businesses grow by telling their stories. So what's your story? Tell us at avalanchestudios.com.
A good story can help attract customers to your business. That's where professional storytellers come in. So if you need help telling your company's story, you'd be wise to seek out a firm like Avalanche Studios. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
I am back with my friends Greg and Mike at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Yes, that is a sure sign of spring, and after the winter we've had with all of the precipitation, our soils are probably easier to work with, but starving for nutrients right now. And Greg, that's where you guys come in.
We are in our 29th year with our Replenish Compost, which is a proven wonderful amendment to the soil.
And it looks beautiful too, Mike. But the other thing they need to know is you can use it as a top dressing on your lawn, and this would be a good time to do that.
Yeah, that's an excellent time to do it. It's really good for adding nutrients to your soil as well as for some water retention.
We're booking people out right now, and so come and join us.
It's a real easy place to come pick up all you need with your own truck or trailer. They can help you load it right here at 4660 South, 200 West in Murray. Look them up online at replenishcompost.com or call 801-262-5142. Remember, Replenish. It's good stuff.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Premier Tech, a Canadian agriculture tech company, unveiled a $13 million state-of-the-art facility in Woods Cross. The company celebrated its continuing efforts to expand into the American market and have been operating in Utah since 2009. The new 61,000 square foot facility will be double the size of its previous one.
Here's a headline that should, I think, be getting more attention. The American Society of Health System Pharmacists are warning drug shortages in the U.S., currently hitting a 10-year high. According to Medscape, the top 5 drug classes affected by shortages are chemotherapy drugs, used in the treatment of cancer, of course, many of which do not have alternatives.
YouTube will soon bring longer, unskippable advertisements to the platform. I wonder if that will cut down my kids watching of YouTube. The company announced it is bringing back the 30-second unskippable ads to connected TVs at a Brandcast event for advertisers. They also said they will introduce ads that begin when users pause videos.
Let me tell you what I discovered, the cut down on kids viewing at my house. Don't pay the subscription, and then they can't watch it.
Oh, so they have to pay it themselves.
Pretty effective. Or it doesn't, it's just not available in the house. The futures markets just ahead of the bell this morning are up 76 points. The S&P is back in positive territory by 12. The NASDAQ is up 16.5.
Coming up in just a moment, we will get another look at your morning commute. Not enough volume to cause delays just yet. We'll check it all next on KSL.
Have you been waiting or maybe wanting to switch over to a different lender, a different financial institution, but because you haven't been happy with the service you're getting, but you have this drag on you like a ball and chain around your leg that you have all these direct deposits and automatic payments that come out of the account and you figure it's going to be too much hassle? We're here to tell you it's not. UCCU is standing by to help.
I switched to UCCU a number of years ago, and I switched my direct deposit from KSL there just a couple of months ago because I'm looking around the newsroom and everybody's getting their paycheck on Thursday.
Yeah.
But not me. And I'm like, how did you guys do that? So I found out you just switch to UCCU and you get paid a day early or sometimes 2 days early.
We've shared some testimonials from people like Rob in Provo. He said, I needed a UCCU employee to help me set up 12 different accounts. 12. I walked into the branch, was given a full hour of help without scheduling it ahead of time. Kind, friendly, and helpful service. This is why I continue to bank at UCCU.
And there are so many reasons why I bank there. I mean, the customer service is just awesome. The app is, I handle all my accounts, home equity loan, car loan, savings, check. It's all in one easy-to-access place.
And by the way, if your fear is that it will be a hassle for your employer, it's just a quick digital process.
Very easy. UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Let the negotiations begin.
I'm confident that we'll get the agreement on the budget. America will not default. We pay our bills.
The president and House Republicans begin high-stakes discussions of America's borrowing and our massive debt. Does anything change?
If we do nothing, we will pay more in interest in the next 10 years than we paid in the last 83.
Get updates each morning and talk during the day with David Dejanovic at 9 and Boyd Matheson at 1 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 7:29. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s is brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. I'm not going to say it, Heather, on what a nice morning it's been, because that always jinxes things. But how are the roads?
Well, right now we're looking very nice. The only backup I'm seeing is on the 201 freeway eastbound at 7200 West, and that is typical. The light turns red. You You have a few cars, they have to sit there and wait for a bit, so it'll back up a little bit, but there's no excessive delays in the area. No problems northbound I-15 where most of our traffic is coming over the point of the mountain heading into downtown Salt Lake City. The west side belt, city streets, they're all free and clear with no accidents. Jason.
Typically about this time of the morning we have delays southbound I-15 about 2nd north in Kaysville, but those have not materialized. In fact, you're still running regular speeds from Ogden to Salt Lake City to take you about 29 to 30 minutes to get that distance done at this point in time. That means that you're going to travel with no incidents, no accidents, and no delays. Eric?
215 eastbound looking good if you're heading north out of Sandy, Cottonwood Heights, trying to use that to go up towards the mouth of Parley's Canyon, maybe onto Foothill Drive. Foothill does look good northbound from the mouth of the canyon up to the University of Utah. And going on I-80 out into the mountains, no problems there. I-80 westbound through Sugar House also looking good. Save big at the huge Two Brothers Mattress Memorial Day sale happening now on all Serta mattresses. Visit one of the Two Brothers Mattress locations or at twobrothersmattress.com. Two Brothers Mattress. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Let's get a look at that forecast for today. Our high temperature will be about 83 degrees, warmer yet on the weekend. 88 tomorrow, 89 on Sunday. Right now it's 59 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
It is breaking news on KSL. Job growth slowed in Utah this April, but our unemployment rate went down.
Even though we've been hearing of some layoffs here and there with a few different companies, we've been able to absorb those job losses, and we're continuing to see some job growth.
Department of Workforce Services Deputy Director Nate McDonald says the leisure and hospitality services grew the most, and the state still added more than 43,000 jobs last month.
Firefighters in southern Utah are taking advantage of a new tool to start wildfire season. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, a key in firefighters successfully knocking down a 40-acre fire along the Virgin River earlier this month was actually drones. The drones flew above and used infrared technology to pinpoint the hottest areas of the fire. They also kept an eye on nearby buildings and even helped crews get a better handle on how much damage the fire caused once it was out. Santa Clara Ivans Fire and Rescue Division Chief Lance Haney tells the St. George News he believes they're the only ones in Utah using this technology. He's reviewing the latest tech and hopefully able to coordinate with some other agencies to get on this soon. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah's warmer weather is an interesting challenge for UDOT's work on Guardsman's Pass up Big Cottonwood Canyon, which currently, get this, sits under 25 feet of snow. UDOT's Public Information Officer John Gleason says avalanche risk is higher, but the snow is also clearing itself out.
The weather is helping us out in some respects, and obviously hurting with some of the flooding that we're seeing. But the high temperatures that we've had over the last week and will continue to have over the next week or so.
It still means they'll need to use scrapers alongside the snowplows to get the pass ready for travelers. Gleason says the pass still won't open until at least mid-June.
There are new charging documents against the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband that show that she owed millions of dollars. Details from KSL News Radio's Jessica Lowell.
Amended charging documents show Corey Richens owed a lender and the government at least $2 million. She also owed her husband $500,000 for allegedly taking money from his bank account and spending tens of thousands on his credit cards a couple years before his death.
The documents also say Richens arranged for a locksmith to drill into her late husband's safe just a couple of days after he died. Police say she pulled out more than $100,000, which she then used to buy drugs.
The Division of Wildlife Resources seizing animals at a petting zoo in Tooele County. KSL TV's Lauren Steinbrecher reports the seizures follow a complaint about a visitor getting bit by a fox.
Attorney for that zoo saying that a fox was needlessly euthanized, telling me that the fox was up to date on his rabies vaccination, which is why they say that euthanasia was unwarranted. The DWR saying that this zoo was on their radar long before that situation. DWR saying that all those other animals have been placed elsewhere.
The full statement from the zoo's lawyer can be found on the KSL TV website.
The Utah Democratic Party convention is happening this weekend.
This year it's held at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Diane Lewis, party chair, says it was time to move from usual party strongholds in Salt Lake, Davis, and Summit counties down south.
We decided that we wanted to bring it south so that our rural counties could get closer to home.
Lewis says they'll elect party leadership in 2 contested races for party chair and vice chair. 2 other races for secretary and treasurer are uncontested. She says they'll also prepare delegates with training for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next year.
We think we're going to do pretty good down here and have quite a few people in person.
Lewis says delegates will also be able to participate and vote virtually if necessary. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour: an escalating debt showdown on Capitol Hill.
The Republican House Freedom Caucus now wants debt ceiling talks suspended until the Senate passes the GOP-passed House debt ceiling bill. That legislation calls for nearly $5 trillion in spending cuts before raising the debt ceiling. In the Senate, some in the president's own party are pressuring him to invoke the 14th Amendment to raise the debt ceiling without congressional approval.
ABC's Justin Finch from Washington.
Existing home sales fell last month during what's normally one of the hottest months of the year.
Existing home sales in April fell 3.4%. That's right along expectations. Sales down just over 23% year over year. The median price of a home sold in April was $388,000. Prices are getting very different regionally. They were higher in the Northeast and Midwest. The Midwest, of course, being the most affordable region. Prices fell in the South and West, where prices had been hottest, where demand was also hottest, and buyers are now priced out.
CNBC's Diana Olick says the average rate is up near 7%, according to Mortgage News Daily.
First look traffic, back to Heather Kelly.
We do have a new crash in Roy. This is on 1900 West northbound, just north of 5600 South. All the vehicles are on the right shoulder, not causing delays. In fact, you don't have any delays anywhere you're trying to get to this morning. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Utah's miles of salt flats, acres of red rocks, and desert beauty as far as the eye can see is a calling to filmmakers everywhere and has earned the state millions. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris is live with more. Alessandra?
Some of the most popular music from a movie that helped make Utah known to the film world. Last year, Utah approved a new law adding $12 million to the Utah Film Initiative program. According to the Utah Film Commissioner, that money brought more than 10 times its amount in production to the state. The Utah Film Commission reports that over the last decade, the film industry has brought $463 million in spending, created tens of thousands of jobs, and over $6 billion in film tourism. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
Keeping an eye on the drive this morning hasn't been too tough. There's not a lot going on. We have some southbound slowing on US 89 at Oak Hills Drive, but overall delays pretty minimal this morning. We'll check your traffic and weather together next.
Start your day with all news in the morning. Then hear David Dejanovic talk about the biggest stories from 9 to noon.
Groceries are still in double-digit inflation.
And we don't know when that's coming down. Breaking news, important talk, all morning on KSL News Radio.
Can you believe it? Just when you thought the savings at Paris RV can't get any better, right now is Hot Deals Month at Paris RV, and you can save thousands on the easy-to-tow Forest River Rockwood 1640 LTD for only $12,995 or $146 a month. Need a bunkhouse? Save over $13,000 on the Gulfstream Amerilite Ultralight 248BH for $19,995 or $225 per month. Oh, you want to drive your rig so Mama can make you a sandwich on the way.
You want some cheesy poofs too?
Then climb aboard the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237LE for only $79,995 or $636 a month. You're saving almost $36,000. See Paris RV for details. This R&R lifestyle changing and cash back in your jeans is happening right now at Paris RV. With 4 locations, go to parisrv.com.
The lowest prices of the year are now at Paris RV.
Audiences are raving about the Utah Symphony. Witness the incredible musicians and inspiring music at a live performance at Marisa Brovnal Hall, where they play the classical greats from the past and present, blockbuster movie scores, family specials, and pop favorites. Tickets start at just $21. Visit utahsymphony.org or 801-533-NOTE. Coming up at the Symphony. Messiaen's Taranglia Symphony is based on 2 Sanskrit words that translate all at once to love, joy, time, movement, rhythm, death, and life. May 19th and 20th at Marisa Brovnal Hall. Then, on May 26th and 27th, a fitting farewell to music director Terry Fisher, Mahler's monumental Symphony No. 3 with the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square and the Madeline Choir School. Tickets are on sale now at utahsymphony.org or 801-533-NOTE.
And the news is sponsored by the Utah Symphony. Witness the artistry of the Utah Symphony with a live performance. Go to utahsymphony.org.
If you're just joining us this morning, we got more good economic news here in the state from Nate McDonald earlier this hour, saying that our unemployment rate dropped again to, was it 2.1?
2.3.
2.3%. And we added 43,000 jobs last month. We'll be keeping an eye on that for you here on KSL.
7:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
We don't have any delays on the freeways in the Salt Lake Valley right now, but we do have a bit of congestion on some of the city streets like Redwood Road in Taylorsville, also Bangerter Highway and Mountain View Corridor northbound through West Valley City. And pretty much anywhere there's a school zone, you're going to see a bunch of extra cars through that area, so just use caution. Jason?
We're still seeing this accident northbound on 19th West in the Roy area, and it's just north of 5600 South. It's off to the side of the road. It's not going to cause you any delays, but there are several cars on scene there. Also, a bit of slowing now southbound on 89 as you approach Oak Hills Drive, but that's pretty much all we've got going on. So I-15 itself still remains strong. Eric?
Tampanocas Highway traffic starting to get a little bit more activity in the Highland Cedar Hills area, but no major delays westbound over to I-15. And I-15 looks good in Utah County once you're on it. No trouble from Payson to Point of the Mountain. That's a 28-minute drive. Provo Canyon is dry on 189 going out to Charleston, Heber City area. And US 40 along the Wasatch Back starting to see the usual construction delays these days, at least this week, from the north end of Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff to go on to SR 248. That's Kearns Boulevard. Keep your allergies under control this spring with Rentmeister. Call 801-773-6900 and mention KSL for a free indoor air quality consultation. Visit us at rentmeister.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It is time for the Pollen Report, brought to you by Rentmeister Total Home Services.
KSL Pollen Report, it is the trees as the culprit for today. Alder, pine, and oak in the moderate to high. Mulberry, birch, and will in the low. Mold is also in the moderate. Grass, nothing happening there. A little bit of dust in the air as well. And I will mention we could get a little bit of fire smoke from the fires burning up in Western Canada. So we got to watch that over the weekend. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny start to the day. It's 60 degrees now in Salt Lake.
So all of us have had the experience of going somewhere and we get bad customer service.
Yep.
Whether it's a restaurant or a shop or whatever. When do you take it to the point of complaining publicly or online
like
or on
making
Yelp?
A scene?
Or not, yeah. I guess I'm not. I think it's more about giving a bad review.
Okay.
But we're going to hear it. It's a report from Matt Gephardt just ahead on KSL.
Look forward to sharing it with you here at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks again for starting your morning with us this Friday on KSL News Radio. Tim and Amanda here on Utah's all-day companion for news.
Do you hear that? Spring is finally here. And with that comes all sorts of ideas and projects in your yard and garden. Plan ahead for your yard projects by ordering the Dirt Bag now. The Dirt Bag makes your life easier. They deliver the bag right to your driveway. When you're ready to attack the project, just open the bag and start planting. Want to save more? Bring your pickup truck or trailer and take the products home yourself. The Dirt Bag has choices from garden soil, decorative rock, mulch, bark mulch, and compost for your vegetable gardens and raised gardens. And the Dirt Bag will match all competitors' pricing on cubic yard bags. You'll find the Dirt Bag west of Mountain View Corridor at 6054 West, 9790 South in West Jordan. This is one Dirt Bag you'll love. It helps you save money and time. Order your bag now at thedirtbag.com. Thedirtbag.com.
I love that Dirt Bag!
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News is brought to you by the Dirt Bag. For all of your garden needs, garden soil, decorative rock, and more, delivered right to your door.
M-E-M-E. What's that spell? M-E-M-E.
It's okay if you get it wrong. Here's baseball superstar Bryce Harper.
I don't even want to answer that right now because I know how many memes are going to be out there.
He said meme. Sorry, Bryce. This was a defendant on Judge Judy.
I did not start this meme. I did not make this meme.
Meme. As you probably know, the word is
meme.
Once again,
meme.
But a question, where's that word come from? Why is a picture with a snappy comment called a meme? Believe it or not, the term was made up before Facebook even existed. A biologist was describing how ideas go viral. Richard Dawkins started with the Greek word for imitate, mimica. And because of the viral way that ideas spread, he sort of combined it with the word gene. Mimica, gene, he got meme. This was before the internet. So how did ideas spread before Facebook? Well, consider this. The first 4 notes of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony are a meme. It spread virally. You know those 4 notes hundreds of years later. Dun, 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 dun. So fast forward, and we've seen the Ice Bucket Challenge, Pepe the Frog, and all kinds of political disinformation spread by meme and on Google. Since 2016, the word meme is searched more than the word Jesus. Call them memes or memes or memes. They're interesting, they're fun, and sometimes fake. Iran has been posting them like crazy since yesterday. But you know what's been around for thousands of years and is even better than memes? Facts. It just can't beat them. They're awesome.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
That was awesome.
And we'll have more this afternoon with Mr. Kaplan. He's back 3 to 7 o'clock on KSL News Radio. Our news time is 7:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
new charging documents against the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband show she owed millions of dollars. She also allegedly broke into his safe just a couple days after his death. I'm KSL News Radio's Jessica Lowell.
Second, Guardsman Pass is still closed because it's buried under 25 feet of snow. UDOT says the road won't open until at least mid-June.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And we're seeing our first slowdowns of the morning. Northbound I-15 approaching I-80 East at the Spaghetti Bowl in the South Salt Lake. Also, 201 freeway slowing down a bit as you try to transition onto the West Side Belt. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Low 80s today, but we could be pushing 90 over the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, let me get a current condition here. 60 degrees downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
President Biden at the G7 summit in Japan, leaving a dinner early to get in on critical debt ceiling talks back in Washington. Progress is being reported on the negotiations, but still no deal to avoid default by June 1st.
The president was briefed at the start of his day on Friday, late Thursday night Eastern time, and was informed by his team that, quote, steady progress is being made in the talks. A White House official said he directed his team to continue pressing forward for a bipartisan agreement. This official said President Biden remains confident Congress will take necessary action to avoid a government default.
ABC's Karen Travers. In court today, 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Texera accused of leaking classified government documents online, a judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial. Texas Governor Greg Abbott busing dozens of migrants to Denver for the first time. The governor saying he'll continue sending migrants to so-called sanctuary cities run by Democrats until the Biden administration secures the border. I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Practically everyone has gone somewhere and gotten bad customer service.
So, is it worth complaining about? KSL TV's Matt Gephardt says yes.
On some level, don't you feel kind of bad for people who happen to be named Karen? It's a name that has become synonymous with...
I want to speak to your manager.
Shrill complaining. And let's be clear, it is not just folks named Karen who've been irked at a restaurant, a store, or on the horn with customer service recently. According to the National Customer Rage Survey, Americans are experiencing more product and service problems than ever before. In fact, nearly 3/4 of folks reported experiencing a product or service problem in the past year. But does complaining about it do you any good? Sure, says Micah Solomon.
So if I have bad service, I can tell literally thousands of people, right?
Solomon is a customer service consultant. He works with companies to help them deliver better customer service. He says savvy companies are paying attention to customer service complaints.
So it's much, much less expensive to keep a customer rather then trying to find a new one.
Now more than ever, unsatisfied customers are looking to take their business elsewhere. According to that survey, the percentage of customers seeking revenge for their hassles has tripled since 2020. In addition to bolting to a competitor, more customers are yelling or blasting the company on social media sites. Part of the issue here, Solomon says, is we're coming out of a couple of years of companies struggling to hire anybody. It's led to longer response times and, in some cases, less interested workers. If you do choose to complain, be nice, and not just because it's a nice thing to do. A study conducted by WalletHub found that people who complain respectfully have a better chance of getting something, be it a refund, a coupon for a future discount, or even just an apology and a promise to do better next time.
We got a text that said, I think we should be more prone to let everyone know when we've had great customer service. Amen to that.
Yeah, we should put as much energy into that as we do into being angry about something.
Amen to that.
I'll tell you, my mother was so cantankerous, God bless her soul. It got to the point where the great-grandkids, didn't really want to go to restaurants with her anymore. When she didn't get good service, like if her coffee wasn't topped off, she was known for getting up and going behind the counter and pouring her own coffee.
Oh, no. My dad was tough at restaurants, too. He was, because he was a really picky eater. And, I got to the point where, let me cook for you, Dad.
So you can, go a little too far on some of those things, but I understand. That's a great story from KSL TV's Matt Gephardt there on the In-Depth at 15 and 45. 7:49. Let's see how the roads are doing, shall we? With traffic and weather together. Again, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather.
Tim, they're still great, the roadways. You are looking at good speeds coming out of Twilla County on SR 36 and I-80. The 201 freeway is starting to see those slowdowns that we get when the sun comes up and it just blares into people's windshields and kind of blinds them. So you've got the slowing from Bangerter Highway all the way over to the West Side Belt. And northbound I-15 is picking up some brake lights through South Salt Lake coming out of Murray, but it's only adding a minute or two to your commute into Salt Lake. Jason.
Flashing lights on the side of the road, northbound on 19th West in Roy, just north of 5600 South. That's due to that accident that's there. But again, it's really not causing you any delays, but you're going to want to probably stick over to the left. That's what most people are doing as they round that corner there. They just decide to stay out of the right lane and just stay over to the left. So maybe you should take that advice as well. Looks like the delays we had southbound on 89 at Oak Hills Drive, those are mostly gone, and I-15 is still rolling at regular speeds. Eric?
In Utah County, Mountain View corridor drivers are starting to slow up a little bit as you exit SR 73 and go up towards Redwood Road. Right before Redwood is where it's going to slow down. And then once you go on 2100 North from Redwood over to the freeway, that's not too bad this morning. Lehigh's Main Street is actually a little bit busier than 2100 North or Pioneer Crossing. That's right near the high school. I-15 Utah County, northbound, southbound, that's looking good so far. For Utah's most trusted asphalt and concrete repair or service for business and more, plus free same-day estimates from an industry leader, visit GoPaveUtah.com. GoPaveUtah.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Hello, Matt.
Hello, and a beautiful morning out there. We got a little bit of wildfire smoke moving in from Western Canada. It's unfortunate. Partly cloudy skies, still beautiful. 83 the high today. 88 tomorrow, so we're cranking it up, mostly sunny. And Sunday, 89. Partly cloudy skies. That'll help to fill more water into our rivers and reservoirs. We've got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week in the 80s, but we're also looking at a chance for storms. Partly cloudy next Thursday with a slight chance for showers, but this hot weather this weekend could prove to send, some of our rivers over the banks again.
We're knocking on the door of 90, which I thought maybe St. George would get triple digits. They're actually going to be cooler than we are this weekend.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, thanks for those thunderstorms, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Salt Lake City, plenty of sunshine out there right now and 61 degrees.
We think of Les Olson IT as our business partner. So they do so much more than copiers and printers now. I mean, if you need a server built, if you need security badges, your phones, computers, monitors, and yes, of course, they manage all printing services. Especially if you have multiple printers, you should totally call Les Olson IT and let them measure just how productive is this machine versus this machine. Can we tune this guy up or get you a better machine for your business?
We've decided they are the business that keeps you in business.
Yes, that's it.
And all of the technology, particularly when it comes to the security side, can be overwhelming. And if you're a small business and you're barely making it month in and month out, you just think there's no way for you at all to have the necessary steps for security and technology that would advance your business. Now you do, because Les Olson IT can be your IT department.
They're going to save you money in so many different ways. They make remanufactured copiers. You can save money on the copier itself. They'll save you money just on the ink.
Yeah, and they will do a little assessment of your company and let you know if you're buying too much printer.
Yeah.
So let them be your experts when it comes to all of these things, not just printers and copiers these days. Get to know Les Olson IT. 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas.
Go to lesolson.com.
It's Summit Harley's Pay Your Sales Tax promotion on any pre-owned Harley this week only.
Very funny. Yeah, Summit Harley has no intention of paying or avoiding your sales tax. We know how many agents they've added on. 2 words, buddy. Low profile.
Sales tax is the amount of your discount on any pre-owned Harley. Summit Harley is the #1 sales volume Harley dealer in the state. You don't need perfect credit, don't need a cash down payment. 100% of all credit applications considered, and every pre-owned Harley discounted by your sales tax now through Saturday at Summit Harley.
Join the KSL Greenhouse Show as they broadcast live this Saturday at Landscape Supply of Utah and Draper. Find everything you need for a beautiful yard. LandscapeSupplyofUtah.com.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails with feedback from customers. Here's one. Dear Dan, I just had the best experience ever. I bought a computer from Shane at your State Street store. I asked several what I thought were really stupid questions. Shane was super courteous and made me feel comfortable through the whole process. People need to understand how important it is to support a local company, especially when your experience is so good. PC Laptops really does love me. Signed, Satisfied. I love hearing feedback like that. It really just gives me the chills. It's the whole reason why I got into the computer business in the first place. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop, and they start at only $29 a month. And it comes with a lifetime warranty. That means if anything goes wrong, we're going to take care of you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. At PC Laptops, we really do love you.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Walmart sales are up 7.4% in the most recent quarter with the help of bargain hunters. The retailer is known for low prices and earns most of the U.S. revenue from groceries. Their e-commerce sales rose 27%.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. In early trading, the Dow is up 80 points. That's 0.25%. We're at 33,616. S&P's up 14. That's 0.3. And the Nasdaq up 10, which is 1/10.
Northbound I-15 slowing just a bit in Murray right now to go along with usual reduced speeds. Eastbound 201 in West Valley City. We'll see if there's any other problems to steer you around when we check traffic and weather together next.
Premium checking from America First Credit Union is so much more than a regular checking account. It's a saves you money, makes life easier, always has your back account, because it's absolutely loaded with fantastic benefits and features. In fact, it comes stocked with so much awesome stuff. It was voted Best Perks by Money.com. So make sure you're rocking more than a checking account. Head to America First and apply for the exclusive protection, perks, and paybacks of premium checking today. Subject to membership eligibility and conditions. Federally insured by NCUA. Since 1939, America First has been helping people pursue their financial goals. And as we have, we've become one of the largest credit unions in the country. The reason why is simple. It's because every day we do our very best to help each person, family, and business we serve to realize their individual dreams and achieve financial well-being. True to our name, we always strive to put our members and employees first. So come join us and let us put you first. America First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Calling all Utah locals, see the Southwest by rail on board Rocky Mountaineer. Until May 31st, save up to $1,200 per couple. Visit RockyMountaineer.com to book.
Hello?
Hi, I'm
Mr. Sparky.
What gave it away? The fancy tool belt? How about the big red truck?
Actually,
Yes.
you're on time.
That's our motto. We're on time. You'll see, or the repair is free.
You rhymed. That's cute. Are you always available?
24/7.
24/7.
I don't sleep much. So what seems to be the problem?
Well, my toddler plugged the dog into the light socket.
Yeah, I see your house is blinking like a pinball machine.
Can you fix it?
The house or the dog?
The house.
Well, I'm Mr. Sparky. If it's electrical, I
You
can
can
fix
it.
You betcha.
From a small electrical problem to new lights to smart home services, generators to whole house surge protection, and everything electrical in between. Call America's on-time electrician. Mr. Sparky is fully licensed to install or repair any electrical work. Just call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hold on, this is where we bring in the singers.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
7:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Overall, you're still going to have a really smooth commute anywhere in the Salt Lake Valley, as well as coming out of Tooele County. We are seeing a bit more traffic, though, on SR 36 heading up toward I-80. And if you hook onto the 201 freeway, you'll have your typical slowdowns from about Mountain View Corridor all the way over to the West Side Belt, and northbound I-15 getting slow as well through Murray. Jason.
Well, they had stopped traffic for a second northbound on 19th West in Roy as they are trying to get this tow truck backed up to the cars so that they can get them out of the way. But now traffic is back to moving through that intersection or in that area there, so you don't really have to worry about that one. That's about 5,500 south is where you're going to find that. Southbound I-15 still rolling smoothly, 30-minute travel time from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Eric?
And the freeway, no problem in Utah County. You're starting to see some slowing northbound Foothill Drive from 2100 north, 2100 south, up to 1300 south if you're en route to the University of Utah. This spring, get your lawn off to a good start with Revive Organic Soil Treatment. Greener grass using less water. Spread or spray it. Revive. It works. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We will look for a high today, again into the 80s, but there's a slight chance, about a 20% chance of rain later in the afternoon. We escaped it yesterday. 83 today, 88 tomorrow, and 89 degrees coming on Sunday. It's 60 and sunny in downtown Salt Lake.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
Prosecutors say a Camas author accused of murdering her husband had serious money problems and took steps to benefit from his death.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
We may have to check back in with Adam coming up in just a moment, so stay with us.
Utah's Water Watch, special coverage on KSL News Radio.
We've had several days of warm weather, and there's more to come this weekend. Utah's water managers are keeping an extra close eye on flooding. KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ertz begins our team coverage, Utah's Water Watch.
Utah's Division of Water Resources Director Candace Hassenjaeger telling lawmakers Wednesday there's a couple of specific areas of concern. The National Weather Service is predicting rises in the South Fork of the Ogden River and the Sevier River near Hatch. She also says reservoir managers are doing the dance of making sure they have enough space for all the water to come down.
Hassenjaeger says about half of Utah's snowpack still needs to come down. Higher elevations are just now starting to melt off.
UDOT crews are using some heavy machinery to try and clear rivers near bridges to ensure the water can flow under instead of over. Crews used this technique on the Spanish Fork River and Thistle Creek yesterday. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell continues our team coverage, Utah's Water Watch.
With the spring runoff flowing so high, it's critical that the riverbed is as clear as possible so the water doesn't flow over the tops of things like bridges and roads. What UDOT are doing is a very simple fix to a simple problem. They're using giant claws to pick up debris from the riverbed and clear the way for the water.
This is how crews were able to open Highway 89 near Thistle.
Let's go back to our Adam Small here. Prosecutors say that the Camas author accused of murdering her husband had some serious money problems. Tell us the details, Adam.
Tim, prosecutors say Corey Richens owed millions of dollars and took out 4 different life insurance policies without her husband's knowledge, totaling to nearly $2 million, as well as another 6-figure policy a month before he died. She also allegedly spent thousands of dollars of her husband's money, leading him to form a trust in 2020, naming his 3 kids as the only primary beneficiaries. Prosecutors also say Richens made herself the beneficiary to her husband's business life insurance policy 2 months before he died. She's accused of buying and then giving her husband a lethal dose of fentanyl a year before she published a book to help kids cope with the loss of a loved one. She's facing a charge of aggravated murder. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah added more than 4,300 jobs in April, which was a slowdown from the month before.
Over the last 12 months, we've added
43,500 jobs to the economy, and that's in 9 of the 10 different private sectors we measure are seeing that strong job growth still happen.
I misspoke. That was 43,000 jobs. Department of Workforce Services Deputy Director Nate McDonald says 22% of the jobs added came from rural Utah.
As Utah continues to grow, congestion does too. Plans to widen I-15 are moving forward, despite Governor Spencer Cox disagreeing with the plan. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has the details. Alessandra.
Tim, at his monthly press conference Thursday, Governor Cox said one of his issues with the project is that widening the freeway will not fully fix Utah's congestion issues.
We will never be able to add enough freeway lanes over the course of time to meet all of our needs as a state.
However, he says that the project needs to happen to match the freeway expansion that has been completed south of Salt Lake. The project is set to begin in 2029 and will likely require the seizure of commercial and community properties in Salt Lake and displace a large amount of family homes in Davis County. Reporting live, Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
New data shows Lehi is Utah's fastest growing large city, but there's more to the story. KSL.com reporter Carter Williams has more on the new Census Bureau report.
They say its 5.6% growth is the 14th best among all the large cities in the nation even. But that's only because the Bureau is not counting any new large cities. If it did, Eagle Mountain would be the answer, and its 9% growth would be the second best in the country. Its growth has taken it to more than 54,000 residents overall. Now, if you're going to go by towns or cities between 10,000 and 50,000, it's actually West Haven or Tremonton in northern Utah.
Based off of numeric growth, the fastest growing city in the state would be Saratoga Springs. That city gained 5,000 people in the past year.
Delegates will meet this weekend in Cedar City for the Utah Democratic Party Organizing Convention, Building for Lasting Change. Party Chair Diane Lewis says they'll be holding a series of trainings for party leaders later today, one day ahead of the convention start tomorrow at Southern Utah University in Cedar City.
We've already been preparing for that 2024 national convention and getting delegates and trainings and things like that for the national convention.
Lewis says they'll elect party leadership and there will be a virtual participation option as well.
First look traffic now, and here's Heather Kelly.
We do have a report of a crash northbound I-15 on the exit ramp to 4500 south, blocking the left shoulder. Haven't seen that yet, but we did have some slowing backed up almost to 53rd south, so looks like people are just sorting themselves out from a fender bender. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Guardsman Pass connects Big Cottonwood Canyon, of course, to Park City, but KSL News Radio's Del Spalding reports if you're planning to take that scenic drive for Memorial Day, you better change your plans.
Travelers looking for those dramatic vistas that make Guardsman Pass so wonderful will have to skip the drive until mid-June. UDOT Public Information Officer John Gleason says they're breaking out the heavy machinery to scrape through snow 25 to 30 feet deep.
We typically shoot to have it open around Memorial Day weekend, but there is that good possibility that closure could extend.
Gleason says that goal to get the pass open by June depends on how the snow melts, including some avalanche risk. Dale Spalding, KSL News Radio.
The north rim of the Grand Canyon reopens on June 2nd. Officials say visitor services will be limited because of a break in the North Rim water pipeline. The park says a landslide destroyed hundreds of feet of the pipeline earlier this year. The Grand Canyon Lodge will also be opening on June 2nd.
The crash on northbound I-15 is contributing to some normal delays in Murray. We'll see if there's any other problems out there that might slow you down. Traffic and weather together is 2 minutes away.
Get KSL Floodwatch updates on your phone this week. Text the word news to 57500 for the latest. You can also see Floodwatch coverage at the top of our website, kslnewsradio.com.
Hi, this is Doug Wright along with Steve Sales, and together we present the movie show each and every week. And I'll tell you, we have come to absolutely love NPS.
Yeah, it's because it's an adventure. Every time I go in there, it looks like a new store.
I know.
And that's the Salt Lake one. The Orem one looks a little bit more, set up. But I kind of like the chaos.
It's amazing, too. And, we have yet to discover the one up in Layton. People up in the northern part of the state, they're probably going, hey, we got this one all to ourselves. We absolutely love NPS, and it is a discovery. Now, there are things you'll find regularly, so you can do quote-unquote normal shopping. Yeah. But when you see those jewels, you see those discounts, and I mean every day 30 to 70% off on name brand new stuff, but occasionally they just blow it out. So don't miss your chance. There are 4 locations.
There's one in Layton, one in Orem, and 2 on Empire Road at 1600 South.
It's NPS.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time now is 8:09. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. How we looking, Heather?
We're looking really good. We have had some typical slowdowns northbound I-15 from Murray into South Salt Lake, and a report of a crash on the exit ramp to 4500 South in Murray. We just haven't seen it on the cameras, but that could be contributing to just a little bit of extra slowing northbound 15. The 201 freeway is easing up. It's getting back to normal speeds as you come out of Magna and head toward I-15, and no delays on the city streets right now. Jason.
Accident in the clearing stages northbound on 19th West in Roy, just north of 5600 South. One of the police vehicles has driven off, and one of the cars, or actually the only car that's left, is now up on a tow truck. So should be cleared out here in just the next few minutes. Southbound I-15, no accidents, no delays. You're just a titch crowded right now at the south gate of Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
I-15 running at a normal pace in Utah County. You're starting to see a little bit more congestion or maybe just activity. We don't have delays really, but some of the activity is happening on Alpine Highway between American Fork and Highland. And if you're eastbound from Redwood Road over to the freeway, it is starting to see a few more cars on Pioneer Crossing and 2100 North. UDOT construction alert. Northbound Legacy Parkway will close this weekend from Saturday morning to Monday morning between Parish Lane and Park Lane. Crews will be placing bridge beams, so use I-15 as an alternate. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Afternoon thunderstorm activity will stay south today into central and southern Utah. We're partly cloudy across the Wasatch Front, high of 83. Overnight, 59, 88 tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny. Dry skies prevail into Sunday with a high of 89 degrees. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny skies downtown this hour, 61 degrees.
So are companies like Twitter and Google responsible for the dangerous content on their platforms? The Supreme Court said no yesterday. We'll have more on that from Pierre Thomas just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Stay with us at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. It's Tim and Amanda here to get you to the weekend on KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
So I got my new delivery yesterday from Beehive Meals.
Oh, I know you were excited about that.
And so I asked the boys, what do you want to have for dinner tomorrow night? And Ethan was like, Sloppy Joe's. And Aiden said, chicken cordon blues. I said, well, let's have one Friday night and one Saturday night.
There you go.
I mean, I got 10 meals, so I have 10 nights of not having to stress over what's for dinner.
You've heard us talking for several weeks now about Beehive Meals. It's a Utah company that started because of a need within a family, the Jackson family, in 2019, I think. And in 19, 20, 4 or 5 years, they now have served over 1 million meals.
And I get why, because it's so helpful. These are freezer meals. I put them in the freezer. I just pull one out, throw it in the crock pot, and it's ready when we are ready. And sometimes I'll add like some pasta or potato or something to it, but they're delicious. I could not buy the ingredients for what I'm paying Beehive Meals.
The recommendation on the label is always to add rice or add noodles or add potatoes if that's something you want to do. But it is so simple. And for those of you that have kids running in all directions, which we've gone through in our life, you pick those days. If you only want 10 meals a month, then you get one delivery. If you want 2 meals or 20 meals a month, you get 2 deliveries.
Yeah.
And then you space it out to where, those busy nights just aren't so hectic for you.
Right. So that's why I want 2 deliveries, because every weeknight is like that. Anyway, you're going to love it. Beehive Meals. And you can save money, too. Just put KSL as your discount code, and you'll get $20 off your next order.
It's beehivemeals.com.
Getting close to retirement? Or have you retired? You've probably got a ton of stress-filled questions on your mind. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth. Getting a second opinion with an individualized investment plan is vital, and our fiduciary advisors do just that. Take it from this Trajan Wealth client.
It was just so pleasant, so comfortable. I think we had 7 different accounts, just stuff scattered all over the place. And then so we just started, here's this, move this. And he even explained it a couple different times. But if I have more questions, he said, just give us a call. And that's what I love. He's a phone call away. Like, I'm glad I know these guys. Such a huge weight off my shoulder.
Imagine not second-guessing investments or monthly retirement income. That's the peace of mind you'll get from working with Trajan Wealth. Call 801-899-7600 today or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Actual client, no compensation, no conflicts. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Tim Hughes back with my friends at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Of course, that is Greg and Mike, and as much as we talk about Replenish, and it is in the name of the company, Greg, there are so many other things you guys provide for people that are looking to put some hardscape areas into their yard.
We have a number of different barks in different sizes and different grades that work great as a ground cover. We also have the colored wood mulches and a variety of rock products.
One of the things I've learned about you, Mike, through the years is that you're always looking for new products.
We've got great new products coming in this year, our Mountain Rose rock and Caribou rock as well. Those are beautiful rocks that you can add to your landscaping, make your yard look beautiful.
So if this is the year that you have decided you are going to finally rip that strip and save yourself some water, this is the great time to do it at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Let me tell you where to find them. 4660 South, 200 West in Murray. You'll find them online at replenishcompost.com or give them a call today, 801-262-5142. Replenish. It's good stuff. KSL News Time, 8:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
coming off a week of warm weather and more to come has Utah's water managers paying extra attention to flood spots. I'm KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ayers.
Second, UDOT officials are using heavy machinery to dig out the bottoms of fast-flowing rivers and creeks to prevent flooding.
Third, let's get a look at traffic and weather together.
Things are looking really good still across the Wasatch Front with no accidents now that the one in Roy has cleared, but you do have a little bit of slowing northbound I-15 through Murray. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, more 80s today, but partly cloudy. I'm Matt Johnson.
Let me see what our current condition is. It's 60 degrees.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News. I'm Derek Dennis. It's down to the wire for debt ceiling talks in Washington. So much so, President Biden at the G7 summit in Japan left an official dinner early to get in on the negotiations from afar. Republicans warning a deal needs to be done this weekend to avoid the government defaulting on its bills by June 1st. Also at the G7, word that Ukrainian President Zelensky will visit the gathering this Sunday to ask for more resources and sanctions against Russia for the war in Ukraine.
The U.S. pushing for further sanctions on Russia.
We stand up for the shared values, including supporting brave people in Ukraine as they defend their sovereign territory.
Now it comes as reports emerge that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will be attending the summit here in person.
ABC's Britt Clement. In the U.S., a court appearance today for 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Texera, accused of leaking classified government documents online. A judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial. In Ohio, 1 dead, multiple people injured in what police say was a targeted workplace shooting overnight at an engine plant. The gunman shot 2 victims, one who died and another was injured before he shot himself.
A male suspect then has apparently inflicted a gunshot wound on himself.
Moraine, Ohio Police Sergeant Andrew Parrish. The suspect is hospitalized and some of the other victims were injured in the chaos at the scene. Disney, the parent company of ABC News, raising the stakes in its battle against Florida's governor by canceling a $1 billion construction project and some 2,000 jobs.
In a memo to employees, Josh D'Amaro, chairperson of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, says this was not an easy decision to make, citing changing business conditions as one of the reasons.
ABC's Jonathan Carl. Women's basketball star Brittany Griner plays her first WNBA game since being released from Russian captivity. She's suiting up for her team, the Phoenix Mercury, against the Los Angeles Sparks. Tip-off is late, 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. You're listening to ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth here. The Supreme Court is siding with a ruling that tech companies like Twitter and Google are not responsible for content on their platforms posted before terrorist attacks.
Details from ABC's Pierre Thomas.
It was a simple legal question. Can social media giants like Twitter, Facebook, and Google be held liable for violent radical propaganda posted on their platforms? The families of those killed in terror attacks in Istanbul in 2017 and Paris in 2015 believe that ISIS videos posted on Twitter and Google inspired those attacks and that those companies should be held accountable. But the Supreme Court said no in a unanimous decision. Justice Clarence Thomas writing that the plaintiffs' allegations are insufficient to establish that these defendants aided and abetted ISIS in carrying out the relevant attack. The families are obviously disappointed and so far have declined to comment. As for the tech companies, they have condemned the attacks and say they're trying to keep violent content off their sites.
That's so interesting that they continue to be protected in that way, that they are not content creators. They're just the hosts of what happens.
And as we told you yesterday, this was not a narrow decision.
No.
It was unanimous,
Right.
9-0. So we'll watch the story as it develops from here, but that's ABC's Pierre Thomas helping us out on the in-depth at 15 and 45.
8:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, the only slowdown you may run into in the Salt Lake Valley is northbound I-15 as you come up from Midvale around 7200 South, all the way up to 4500 South in Murray. Doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you'll see some brake lights. Traffic is back to normal now on the 201 freeway as you come out of Tooele County all the way over to I-15 heading into Salt Lake, and no delays on Mountain View Corridor or Bangerter Highway. Jason.
All clear now. The accident that was never really causing too much trouble northbound on 19th West in Roy has been cleared, and you don't have to worry about it. So southbound I-15 still looking at good speeds from Ogden down to Salt Lake City. No problems. 89 Legacy, the West Side Belt. Those have been clear all morning long, as have your major feeders as well. Eric?
If you're going out to Park City this morning, I-80 looks sharp through the mountains, just at the entrance or exit, I should say, at Kimball Junction. That's where it's a little bit congested northbound and southbound on SR 224 right near the freeway. But the rest of the way down into Park City looks good. You do have some construction-related delays northbound and southbound from the north end of Jordanelle Reservoir up to the Park City turnoff. That's SR 248. And in Utah County, I-15 looks good northbound and southbound. Burke Brothers is more than just tires. They do brakes, batteries, oil changes, heat, AC, shocks, and struts. Basically anything from regular vehicle maintenance to those pesky check engine lights and flat tires. Burke Brothers. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. Dry skies, 83, partly cloudy today. Tomorrow, hot, 88 degrees. For your Saturday, mostly sunny skies. Pushing 90 degrees on Sunday. We'll go 89, partly cloudy. Hey, hot temperatures prevail into Monday, but we introduce the PM thunderstorms yet again. That'll be the case Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Highs in the 80s, but chance for storms. Dry skies return potentially by next Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We have a little malfunction of the weather page online, so I'm relying on the app here, and it says 67 degrees now in Salt Lake City. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Got any big plans for the weekend, Tim?
We're going to go see Hale Center Theater's production on the Jewel Box stage, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, so we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow night.
You're going to love that. That's just my favorite date night. I think, are we doing anything? I don't think we're doing anything. How wonderful.
Well, you had a crazy busy weekend last weekend, so take one off.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're always welcome to and glad to hear from you. Anytime you want to text us and just say, hey, happy Friday, or let us know about something you see on the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line 57500.
Seriously, though, how many times have you looked at your weekend and gone, we have nothing?
And then I've gone,
I could not be so excited.
I know. That's my age, isn't it?
I'm in that mode this week. We'll see how the markets are doing. I can tell you this, everything's back in positive territory, so that and the rest of your Money News headlines is coming up next.
Here's what happens when you get brand new custom vinyl windows from Advanced Window Products. All of a sudden, your house has more curb appeal. Your home is more secure. Your heating and air conditioning bills tumble, and you have a local company in business 37 years standing behind their work for life. But that's not all. Since they build your custom windows at their facility in Salt Lake, there's no middleman markup. So you can save money on the highest quality windows on the market. Argon-filled double-pane glass, insulation within the vinyl framing, top of the line, built to spec. They will create magnificent bow windows, doggy doors cut into the glass. Any color, it's all custom, all installed by their team, and every window is guaranteed for life. Rocky Mountain and Dominion offer rebates. Advanced Windows offers 60-month 0% financing, and right now, save $2,000 on 10 windows or more. So save now, pay later. Call Advanced Window Products, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or visit advancedwindowsusa.com.
Electrical problems? Call the electricians with the on-time guarantee.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8Sparky.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Warmer temperatures are finally here, and with an entire season of camping adventure starting now, it's the perfect time for a new RV during Motorsportsland's Bunkhouse Blowout event. We have options for nearly every budget, like our Hideout 176 BH travel trailer for only $21,995 with payment options under $250 a month, or our fully loaded Cameo fifth wheel 4051 BH for $49,000 off MSRP. Ask us about our special zero down options as well. Hurry in to your nearest Motorsportsland RV Center in Salt Lake, Mill Creek, or Spanish Fork to save up to 35% on select bunk models. Inventory at these prices is limited, so come in now. Make this your year of adventure in an RV from a Motorsportsland RV Center, where we have hundreds of RVs in stock and ready to make memories. Start your next adventure and let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Motorsportsland.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Twitter is accusing Microsoft and its partner OpenAI of illegally using Twitter data to develop artificial intelligence systems. The letter addresses a seemingly narrow use of information from Twitter's database of tweets, and it foreshadows a possible fight over AI.
KSL Drives, Hyundai, and Kia have agreed to a consumer class action lawsuit settlement worth $200 million over rampant car thefts. The settlement will cover about 9 million U.S. owners and include up to $145 million for out-of-pocket losses.
Wendy's is testing out a new way to deliver food via an underground robot. We do not understand how the company is working with a Texas hyper-logistics company called Pipe Dream to test an underground robot system that will deliver digital orders to designated parking spots in a matter of seconds.
In thinking about this all morning...
Is that just in the parking lot of the Wendy's itself?
Oh, I don't know. But in thinking about this, maybe it is a way for them to have more locations without having to build the building.
But what's the infrastructure? It's got to be in the parking lot itself.
Yeah, and what kind of problems does that cause for the parking lot if there's people lined up even there to get their burgers? I don't know.
And then it just becomes like a burger hop place. Instead of roller skating out to my car, it comes through a chute.
Yeah, there's...
Is it like the bank where it goes through a bank chute thing?
I don't think we're going to be able to figure this out. And maybe we'll never see it come to fruition either. The markets an hour into the trading day are up. The Dow on the plus side by 58. The S&P is up by 0.3 now. It's up 13. And the NASDAQ, those tech stocks, are up 21 points.
Coming up in just a moment, we don't have any accidents to tell you about. That is good news. It's a good Friday morning commute. We'll check it next on KSL News Radio.
All right, I told you a minute ago that our plans for this weekend include going back to Hale Center Theater, and we're going to see this world premiere of the play that's now on the Jewel Box stage, the Hans Christian Andersen in New York, which you saw last week. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk for a second about Hello, Dolly.
Oh, sure.
One of the things I always, and I tell you this all the time, I look forward to is just walking in the theater for the first time and seeing, particularly in the on the center stage, how they surround you with the story, and you feel like you're walking in to that story.
Yeah.
And then when they interact with the crowd throughout the production.
Okay, that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
They just come sit down next to a guy in the theater.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody,
No.
but the way it opens up and throughout Hello Dolly, and it's music you're going to remember from so many years ago. It's really a fantastic night. But you loved Hans Christian Andersen.
There's also music you're going to remember. I mean, you know that song, What Are You Doing What Are You Doing New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
There's a lot of music.
Inchworm is in there.
Inchworm, yeah. And the set, talk about sets, Tim, is a bookstore in New York City, which I just immediately was fascinated by because the main character is like the great nephew of the famous writer Hans Christian Andersen. And I won't tell you anything else, except for that. I'll tell you one more thing. There's like a 6-year-old boy in the show who steals the show.
Oh,
He's incredible.
We can't wait. And the fact that Hale Center was chosen out of all the places this could debut in the world, they were chosen to have this production tells you all you need to know about why we love it. Get your tickets today. Call 801-984-9000 or just go online. That's the best way to do it. hct.org.
Let the negotiations begin.
I'm confident that we'll get the agreement on the budget. America will not default. We pay our bills.
The President and House Republicans begin high-stakes discussions of America's borrowing and our massive debt. Does anything change?
If we do nothing, we will pay more in interest in the next 10 years than we paid in the last 83.
Get updates each morning and talk during the day with David Dejanovic at 9 and Boyd Matheson at 1 on KSL News Radio.
8:29, traffic and weather together again every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, Tim, it's been a very pleasant commute all morning long with no accidents in the Salt Lake Valley, except for one that's northbound I-15 reported at the 4500 South exit ramp. That's well out of traffic. You just have a few brake lights going through Murray, which is typical this time of the morning. Things are looking great if you're coming out of Twilla County, SR 36, I-80, the 201 freeway, and city streets in great shape as well. Jason.
Green means go, and we've got plenty of green right now in Weber and Davis counties. No problems if you're southbound I-15 from Ogden to Salt Lake City. It's been pretty much 29 to 30 minutes all morning long. It remains that way now. 89 Legacy, the West Side Belt. They're all at regular speeds and no problems on your major feeders. Eric?
Well, we got some slowdowns over on US 40 on the Wasatch back coming out of Jordanelle Reservoir, that area, and you're heading south off the hill towards the River Road intersection. That is slow for some particular reason. Now, north of that, we can guess it's construction because we've had it all week, northbound and southbound slowing just at the north end of the reservoir, heading up to SR 248. If you're down in Utah County, I-15 is looking good, northbound and southbound. Save your wallet as you travel for Memorial Day. Get a Utah mobile driver license and keep your wallet in your bag. Go to ut.mobiledl.us for more info. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
And the weather forecast for the Wasatch Front says a high today in the low 80s. We're in the high 80s for the weekend. Let me see where we are right now. I'm just going to pull up my KSL weather page, which is not giving me a 7-day forecast. Let me see if I can find Salt Lake City on this and tell you what or Layton. I can tell you Layton is 59 degrees. Lehigh is 60.
There you go. KSL News Time, 8:30.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. Our news time is 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Drone technology helping fire crews in southern Utah get an edge over wildfires.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, the drones were a key in firefighters successfully knocking down a 40-acre fire along the Virgin River earlier this month. They use infrared technology to pinpoint the hottest areas of the fire and even helped crews get a better handle on how much damage it caused once it was out. Santa Clara Ivans Fire and Rescue Division Chief Lance Haney tells St. George News he believes they're the only ones in Utah using this technology. He's reviewing the tech and hopefully will be able to pass it along to other nearby agencies. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The mountain pass connecting Big Cottonwood Canyon to Park City will not be open until mid-June. UDOT Public Information Officer John Gleason says warmer weather makes avalanches more fluid, but also helps clear some of the snow out naturally.
I just checked with our crews, and there are some areas along Guardsman Pass that the snow levels are still about 25 to 30 feet deep, and so it's still pretty deep up there.
That means travelers will need to take other routes to get to Park City for summer hiking, biking, and camping.
Police say the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband owed more than $2 million in loans.
Police have amended charging documents and say Corey Richens owed a lender at least $1.8 million and owed almost $200,000 in taxes. She also owed her husband $500,000 for allegedly withdrawing the money from his bank account and spent tens of thousands on his credit cards a couple years before his death. Richens told him she would repay the money. And we're learning that Richens arranged for a locksmith to drill into her late husband's safe just 2 days after he died. There was more than $100,000 in there, which she then allegedly used to buy fentanyl. Jessica Lowell, KSL News Radio.
Salt Lake City police have arrested an 18-year-old woman for reportedly giving misleading information following a fatal stabbing. The crime happened last month, and when police say they found a critically injured man near a downtown nightclub who eventually died from his injuries. The woman was first thought to be a witness, but police say she has been arrested on suspicion of obstructing the investigation.
Delegates will meet this weekend in Cedar City for the Utah Democratic Party Organizing Convention, Building for Lasting Change. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson has a preview.
Party Chair Diane Lewis says they'll be holding a series of trainings for party leaders later today, one day ahead of the convention start on Saturday at Southern Utah University in Cedar City.
We've already been preparing for that 2024 national convention and getting delegates and trainings and things like that for the national convention.
Lewis says they'll elect party leaders in 2 contested races for party chair and vice chair, 2 other races for secretary and treasurer are uncontested. She says this weekend's convention is fully hybrid, which means that delegates will be able to participate and vote virtually. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The groom whose bride was killed on their wedding day in Charleston weeks ago is now speaking out. Utah native Eric Hutchinson is moving forward with a wrongful death lawsuit over the loss of his bride, Sam. ABC's Ava Pilgrim reports that an alleged drunk driver behind the wheel of a golf cart and several other local bars and restaurants are among the plaintiffs.
The newlyweds sent off by their guests through a wave of sparklers, jumping in a golf cart with family, but they never made it home.
I remember waking up just kind of foggy, out of sorts, and I could see my mom's face, and you could just tell something was wrong. And
just down the road from their reception, their golf cart hit by a car. Hutchinson, his brother-in-law Benjamin, and nephew Brogan were rushed to the hospital. Sam died at the scene.
The driver of the vehicle that struck the golf cart has been charged with DUI and reckless homicide.
First look traffic now, and here's Heather Kelly.
Things still look really good all across the Wasatch Front. We have good speeds on I-15, both directions getting into downtown Salt Lake. Occasionally you'll have some slowing in some areas, but nothing that'll add more than a minute to your commute. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Fame and fortune comes to Utah through the movie business. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has the details.
Just a few minutes of Indiana Jones was filmed in Utah, drawing filmmakers to the state, bringing funds and popularity. Last year, $12 million was added to Utah's film incentive program, which has brought over 10 times that amount in benefits. The Utah Film Commission reports that for every dollar spent on film incentives, $7 returns to the state, leading to nearly $500 million in spending, tens of thousands of jobs, and over $6 billion in film tourism over the last 10 years. Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
Artificial intelligence software may become easier to access. ABC's Andrea Fujii previews a new app.
The company OpenAI has launched an app for the popular software program ChatGPT, available right now only on iOS devices. Developers say it will allow users to get instant answers without ads or sifting through results, tailored advice, and professional input like feedback on ideas.
The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, testified before Congress this week, suggesting ways that lawmakers could regulate his own industry.
Walmart says business is booming. It boosted its outlook after a strong first quarter and rising sales.
U.S. comparable sales for Walmart up a strong 7.4%. Transactions and average ticket grew. Walmart added share in grocery and noted specifically from higher income households there. Global ad revenue, that grew 30%. Walmart Connect ad sales here in the U.S., that grew 40%.
That's CNBC's Courtney Reagan.
Ogden City Council just signed off on a new city flag. It has a light blue background, a white horizontal stripe through the middle, a navy blue circle in the middle, and a white mountain motif. The Standard Examiner reports local graphic designer Cody Hawken came up with the design.
From Pleasant Grove to Pleasant View, the freeways and city streets look good along the Wasatch Front. We'll start to wind down this morning drive and wind down the week for you next.
Boyd Matheson helps you to think about the news differently.
I want to walk you through how these kind of negotiations actually play out.
Join an elevated conversation. Inside sources from 1 to 3. Then Jeff Kaplan and his Minute of News on the drive home on KSL News Radio.
And now here's Growing Your Wealth, presented by Madrona Financial Services. Here's Brian Evans.
Today I want to talk about the decision as to whether or not to retire from being a landlord. Most of us that have a job usually have a retirement date in mind, but when it comes to landlords, a lot of them don't always know when that should be. They feel like, well, I can still manage property into my 60s or 70s and maybe even your 80s. But at some point, you might have a paradigm shift to say, all right, maybe it's time to rethink some of this. Some of the reasons you might be rethinking it is that most investment property is owned by baby boomers and, you're getting older. So a lot of times you'll find out that if you sell your property and do a 1031 exchange into a passive real estate, you might be able to increase your cash flow. You'll find you'll reduce your stress and give you more free time in your later years. And you'll have less surprise deferred maintenance bills, the new roof or the water damage, that kind of thing. And potentially leave less of a burden to your family members in case something happens to you and you can't manage the property anymore. You don't want someone else in the family having to pick up that burden. So there's a lot of reasons to retire from being a landlord. Some of the reasons you may not want to retire is you just like doing it. It gives you something to do and that's what you enjoy. Or you feel like the real estate that you own locally is going to appreciate much more than any other real estate in other parts of the country. But a lot of people that I've talked to, they're getting to that age where they're saying, even if it appreciates more, I've got enough growth. What I want is cash flow, time, less stress. And so that's what they go for with a diversified portfolio of passive real estate using Section 1031 exchanges so they can retire from being a landlord.
Even the mightiest of trees can be blown over if they don't have strong enough roots. The same is true with your investment plan. Can your plan withstand a financial storm? Go to MadronaFinancial.com and click on the Get Started button to request your Rooted Wealth Analysis. You can also click on the chat button and ask us anything. We have a searchable library with answers to your questions. Visit MadronaFinancial.com.
Hey, if you're just getting in the car, I want to remind everybody that we will stay on the flood watch this weekend with that story about Guardsman Pass having 25 to 30 feet of snow still on it.
Yeah.
And not being open until mid-June, so tell you all you need to know. And we'll have temperatures that are knocking on the door of 90 this weekend. Make sure you stay with KSL.
8:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
We've got a bit of heavy traffic on 5300 South proper, right near I-15. And if you hop on I-15 from there, head north, you might see a few brake lights heading into South Salt Lake. But other than that, things are looking really good on the rest of the freeways in the Salt Lake Valley as well as in Tooele County. City streets have a little bit of congestion on some of the bigger intersections. That's usually when the light turns red. Jason.
84 into Weber Canyon. No problems there in either direction. Looking good in Ogden Canyon, Sardine Canyon as well. And likewise on I-15, traveling between Ogden and Salt Lake City. Southbound side is moving smoothly, as is the northbound side as well. Eric?
Got some northbound, southbound slowdowns on US 40 between the north end of Jordanelle Reservoir and SR 248. That's because of construction. Now, on the southbound side, we did have some slowing coming off of the reservoir area, and you go downhill towards the River Road intersection. That is getting a little bit better, but it is still below normal pace. I-15 Utah County, northbound, southbound, looking good. It's a 24-minute drive from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. Pioneer Crossing is starting to get some slowdowns eastbound as you head from Saratoga Springs over to American Fork. Save big at the huge Two Brothers Mattress Memorial Day sale happening now on all Serta mattresses. Visit one of the Two Brothers Mattress locations or at twobrothersmattress.com. Two Brothers Mattress. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Drier air has moved in from the north. We'll go 83 degrees today, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows in the upper 50s. And for tomorrow, 88 degrees, mostly sunny skies for your Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Boy, it's warmed up quickly. 67 now in Salt Lake City.
We'll talk to our legal expert, Greg Skordas, in a moment about those additional charges against the woman for being charged with murdering her husband. We'll explain coming up on KSL News Radio.
Stay with us at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. It's Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
Can you believe it? Just when you thought the savings at Paris RV can't get any better, right now is Hot Deals Month at Paris RV, and you can save thousands on the easy-to-tow Forest River Rockwood 1640 LTD for only $12,995 or $146 a month. Need a bunkhouse? Save over $13,000 on the Gulfstream Amerilite Ultralight 248BH for $19,995 or $225 per month. Oh, you want to drive your rig so Mama can make you a sandwich on the way.
You want some cheesy poofs too?
Then climb aboard the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237 LE for only $79,995 or $636 a month. You're saving almost $36,000. See Paris RV for details. This R&R lifestyle changing and cash back in your jeans is happening right now at Paris RV. With 4 locations, go to parisrv.com.
The lowest prices of the year are now at Paris RV.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Salt Lake City area attorneys. 910 West Legacy Center Way, Suite 120, Midvale, Utah, 84047.
KSL News Time, 844. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
new charging documents against the Camus author accused of poisoning her husband show she owed millions of dollars. She also allegedly broke into his safe just a couple days after his death. I'm KSL News Radio's Jessica Lowell.
Second, weekend warm weather has Utah's water managers paying extra attention to flooding.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And we're accident-free right now all across the Wasatch Front. No delays aside from a brake light or two from time to time. Both directions on I-15 getting into downtown Salt Lake, and city streets are free and clear as well. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Looks like a dry and hot one for your weekend, but thunderstorms return next week. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 67 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
President Biden at the G7 summit in Japan left an official dinner early to get in on debt ceiling talks back in Washington from afar. Republicans warning a deal needs to be done this weekend to avoid the government defaulting on its bills by June 1st. A court appearance today for 21-year-old Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira, accused of leaking classified government documents online, a judge deciding whether he stays jailed until trial.
Federal prosecutors say releasing the young Air National Guardsman who's accused of leaking America's defense secrets poses far too great a risk to public safety and national security. Court records now show Teixeira had been warned 3 times about deep diving into intelligence information, but prosecutors say he shared such information in a social media group that included foreigners.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. Disney, the parent company of ABC News, raising the stakes in its battle against Florida's governor by canceling a $1 billion construction project and some 2,000 jobs. The two sides are at odds over Florida's Don't Say Gay law. I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
New allegations are coming to light against a Camus author who's charged with murdering her husband.
Joining us now live on the KSL Newsline is the spokesperson for the Richens family, Greg Skordas. Greg, who are you representing?
I'm sort of more of a spokesperson. You articulated it really well, Amanda. I'm just helping the family, the family of the victim, the Eric Richens family, just his immediate family.
I gotcha.
Were they taken totally by surprise by the facts here, Greg, or did they see problems leading up to this?
Oh, they've been aware of it from the beginning, and they were, in fact, active in communicating with the police and the prosecutors and law enforcement from Summit County about this. They've been suspecting all of this from long ago, and I think there's really some relief, Tim, that something's finally being done, and that the police have done a very good work in investigation on this case. I think the family's pleased with that.
We were reporting this morning, Greg, that the wife who's accused of killing her husband in this case, that she rang up a lot of debt. Do we know anything more about that?
Yeah, there was actually an amended information filed yesterday. It was filed last night, and instead of sort of the 1 or 2 page probable cause statement that we had in the first information, this one's about 6 pages, and it reads like a crime novel, and all of the things and all of the steps that she was taking to change life insurance policies, to purchase life insurance policies in the sort of waning weeks before she allegedly killed him, accessing his safe by drilling it, changing his buy-sell agreement with his business partner, forging documents with respect to a house they were attempting to purchase. I mean, this, in terms of the motive for the murder, this is quite an extensive allegation that the state has made in this new probable cause statement that was filed last night.
Yeah, I apologize, Greg. I'm not sure of the age of the children, but I would guess that's one of the main concerns of the family right now.
Yeah, they're, I think, 10, 9, and 6, and they are with family members. They're boys. They're together, and they're with a very, very good family member. Everyone is comfortable with their current whereabouts and their safety in all respects, including their overall mental health safety.
Yeah, I mean, that our primary concern is about them and just making sure that they have a support system going forward. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be in very good hands. I mean, this is a wonderful family, man. I hope that people get to know them as I have at some point, because these are really very, very good people who have no agenda here except just to see that justice is served.
You may or may not know this. I don't know how well this book may have sold, but is there any move behind the scenes to get any proceeds from that book taken?
Yes, there actually is. We have a statute in Utah called a slayer statute, which is kind of a creepy word. But anyway, it provides that people who kill others can't benefit financially from their wrongdoing. And so I believe the family will take efforts to sort of claw back whatever money she earned, not just from the book, but from other things that she did or may have done since his death and in relation to his death. So, and all that, I think, will go for the benefit of the boys. I mean, nobody wants to make money off of this. They just want to make sure that these kids are taken care of.
Oh, that's good to hear. Greg, we thank you for that. That really helps our concerns.
Sure. Yeah.
Greg Skordas, who is the spokesperson for the Richens family, with us on the KSL Newsline.
8:49, time for another look at traffic and weather together, which we do every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather.
Well, Tim, the good news is there isn't much to look out on your drive this morning. You've got good speeds northbound I-15 from Point of the Mountain into Salt Lake. You're about 20, maybe 22 minutes at most if you run into a few brake lights here and there. You've had good speeds all morning long coming out of Tooele County on I-80 and the 201 freeway now that the earlier congestion is cleared out. And you just might see a little bit of extra traffic on some of the city streets, especially if lights turn red. Jason.
And likewise, still no problems up north. You're going to be traveling at regular speeds if you are on I-15 on your major feeders over to I-15 on any of the other highways, 89 Legacy and the West Side Belt. They're all accident-free and moving smoothly. Eric?
On the 215 eastbound, looks good, heading north from Cottonwood Heights through Holiday, Mill Creek, all the way up to I-80. If you're going on I-80 through the mountains or westbound through Sugar House, in both cases, that looks good. Foothill Drive also in good shape from Parley's Way up to the Sunnyside intersection. I-15 in Utah County at the moment, that's looking pretty good. University Avenue starting to get a little bit plugged up near the BYU campus, northbound, southbound, as is the case for southbounders on 500 West in Provo between 800 North and Center Street. Go Pave Utah will make you a hero for your customers, employees, or business. Same-day service, quick, reliable repairs, and service plans. Go Pave Utah. Fast, free quotes. Visit GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. How about 83 today, partly cloudy skies. Hot tomorrow, 88 degrees for your Saturday, mostly sunny. 89 on Sunday, partly cloudy skies. And then we introduce the thunderstorms. Afternoon T-storms possible on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We keep it in the 80s through Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
I'm just trying to find a current condition. I'm having trouble with my website this morning. Oh, 67 downtown.
67 has warmed up quickly.
And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We're going to turn it over to the movie show here at the top of the hour, but I just noticed there was a quick note from the Cannes Film Festival because they had the screening of the new Indiana Jones over there, and Harrison Ford was there, and they gave him a 5-minute standing ovation. After the show aired.
Oh, so it just gives me goosebumps.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait to see it.
It's not out yet, but we're going to be talking movies with the boys coming up right after the top of the hour, so stay right here.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails from people all the time. Here's one. Dear Dan, I hear your talk about a lifetime service guarantee. Free? Really? Please help me avoid all your fine print and be honest about what free means. You understand that we should be very wary of a free offer. Signed, Skeptical. Hi, Skeptical. I remember 22 years ago when we started PC Laptops and our lifetime service guarantee, people thought it was too good to be true. Well, after a decade, people started believing me a little bit. But it's been 22 years of having the privilege to serve our friends and neighbors like you. Our lifetime service guarantee has become the most trusted warranty in the industry. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop computer, and they start at only $29 a month. Check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Here's to seeing you soon, Skeptical.
Calling all Utah locals, see the Southwest by rail on board Rocky Mountaineer. Until May 31st, save up to $1,200 per couple. Visit RockyMountaineer.com to book.
Hey, Dad, what's stronger, a cat or a dog?
A dog.
What about a dog or a ram?
A ram.
A ram or a cougar?
A ram.
What?
Sure is.
What about a saber-toothed tiger?
Still a ram.
An elephant?
Nope.
Okay. A giant enormous triceratops.
Heavy duty or mid-sized?
It's ram season at Doug Smith Ram and American Fork. Come in today for a test drive, and you'll understand why nothing pulls like a new heavy-duty Ram truck.
Premium checking from America First Credit Union is so much more than a regular checking account. It's a saves you money, makes life easier, always has your back account, because it's absolutely loaded with fantastic benefits and features. In fact, it comes stocked with so much awesome stuff. It was voted Best Perks by Money.com. So make sure you're rocking more than a checking account. Head to America First and apply for the exclusive protection, perks, and paybacks of premium checking today. Subject to membership eligibility and conditions. Federally insured by NCUA. Since 1939, America First has been helping people pursue their financial goals. And as we have, we've become one of the largest credit unions in the country. The reason why is simple. It's because every day we do our very best to help each person, family, and business we serve to realize their individual dreams and achieve financial well-being. True to our name, we always strive to put our members and employees first. So come join us and let us put you first. America First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Premier Tech, a Canadian agriculture tech company, unveiled a $13 million state-of-the-art facility in Woods Cross. The company celebrated its continuing efforts to expand into the American market. They've actually been operating in Utah since 2009. But the new 61,000 square foot facility will be double the size of its previous one.
The American Society of Health System Pharmacists is warning drug shortages in the U.S. are currently hitting a 10-year high. According to Medscape, the top 5 drug classes affected by shortages are the chemotherapy drugs.
That's worrisome. The Dow Jones Industrial is up almost 100 points now. That's 0.3%. The S&P still in the green by 10, but the NASDAQ has gone negative on us here. It's down about 7 points.
Coming up in just a moment, we'll get another look at your morning commute. It looks pretty smooth. It has all morning. We'll check it next on KSL.
Want to annihilate payroll problems? Wipe them out with Paycom. Paycom torches timesheet errors like a flamethrower. Oh, obliterates overtime blunders like a wrecking ball. Holy mackerel! And PTO problems? Paycom leaves them pulverized. Wow! Because with Paycom, employees do their own payroll right in the Paycom app. They find and fix errors before payroll submission, so HR can tackle important stuff, like performance incentives and retaining top producers, so your people can crush their goals. And with Paycom, employees enter and manage their own HR info, like onboarding, tax setup, and benefits enrollment. It's all in one powerful software with ironclad security. Stop doing that! Sick of HR and payroll headaches? Don't just eliminate them. Demolish them! At Paycom.com.
Is it time to replace your roof? Intermountain West Contractors can finish most projects in just one day using top-tier quality materials at an affordable price. Visit IWCRoofing.com.
Troy, I am pumped for this massive grand opening at the new American Fork Bish's RV.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a wild one.
The deals are unreal, the food is free, and the fun is all day?
Yep. Clear your calendar, people. Come in May 15th through the 20th for 6 full days of epic deals. Fun for the family and free meals on Friday and Saturday from 11 to 2.
RV deals like $199 per month OAC for a new bunkhouse RV? Are you kidding me?
Plus, 2 are the hottest new travel trailers from GoPlay. High quality at an undeniable value. Available only at Bish's.
Oh, and did we mention every remaining 2022 is priced to move with no reasonable offer refused?
And we're hooking you up with 90 days no payments on approved credit for 3 months of all play and no pay.
Got a trade? We're giving max trade-in value for your current RV.
Don't miss this sale. Only May 15th through the 20th at Bish's RV in American Fork.
Previously Stewart's RV. Bish's RV, where memories begin.
SDK number 69455 and 69454. Subject to prior sale. Dealer number A22B. See dealer for details.
You get business. So when it comes to business expenses, look for the card that gets you. The Zions Bank Amazing Card for Business. Apply now for and earn $1,000 bonus cash or $100,000 bonus rewards points when you spend $5,000 in the first 120 days from account opening. Your all business card awaits. For business expenses, large or small, Zions Bank is for you. Visit online or at your local branch to get started. Subject to credit approval. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. A division of Zions Bank Corporation, NA member FDIC.
8:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Heather?
Well, if you're getting on a freeway right now in the Salt Lake Valley or in Tooele County, you are going to be free and clear. No accidents, no delays, whether you're north, south, east, or west. City streets are in pretty good shape as well. There's no more congestion around the school zones. Some of the larger intersections, when they turn red, you might see a little bit of backup, but nothing excessive. Jason?
Wrapping up the morning commute the same way that we started it, with no accidents and no delays at all in Weber and Davis counties. Everything moving smoothly on I-15 and the other highways and side streets. Eric?
And Utah County is also in good shape. I-15 from Provo and Orem up to Thanksgiving Point. You got no delays on that stretch. Wake up with a sore back. Upgrade your mattress today at Dern's new Sleep Center. Dern's mattresses on Fifth South and Bountiful. Dern's, brands you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
83 for a high today, 20% chance of showers, and it's sunny downtown this hour, 67.
The movie show coming up next on KSL. You have a good weekend, Tim.
Have a good weekend too, Amanda. We'll be back here Monday morning starting at 5 o'clock with Utah's Morning News.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon.